Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nameless Wanzu. I almost forgot.
I'm sitting here watching the intro video. I'm like, is he timing this? Like,
I think if we didn't draw attention to it right now, you wouldn't notice. But I almost forgot that the intro video was running, and we would have just been on a blank screen with no music. Yeah, no, but I was chatting shit and then talking to you guys anyway. I'm pretty tired. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome, as the Whack Steven says. This is the Nameless Ones, our Wine RPG. What's old is new RPG. Kind of like a D&D, if that's why you're here. It's close enough, but the system's a little different. Whack will get into that eventually. How are you all doing in the chat and in the future on YouTube and here in the cast? We're missing one member. Oh no!
Sex demon.
The sex demon. But I have replaced Wish with this anime child. Because that's how we do.
You know, I have to try to sound Russian whilst doing the waifu accent, all right? Whoever's
it's
playing.
Whack. It's all on Whack.
Yeah.
All right, Whack.
Now we
add a
know.
waifu accent in there as well.
I can't do it. Can anyone do it?
That was pretty good.
Yeah?
You say you
Alright.
can't do it.
That was
That was
good.
pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know if I could do Russian combined with it, but I'll have to try. I'll try.
You
as we
play
figure out.
that game or watch that anime with the tanks, battle tank girl tanks.
Yeah.
There's the Russians in it. Then you'll be able to work it out how to do.
No, the thing is, you
the
just do
combo.
the regular like anime girl voice, but you play the Russian like the Soviet Union national anthem like under it. It's perfect.
All right.
Welcome to the show, everybody. It's
Whack
a pleasure
your
to
job.
have everybody back here again. Welcome to episode 3 of the Nameless Ones. If you guys are unfamiliar with what we're doing here, we are doing the What's Old is New RPG system. It's a wonderful system that allows for a lot of sort of sandboxy type content. And specifically, we're in the OLD setting. The book is sort of fixed around the medieval to sort of Renaissance time period. And there's also 2 other systems that that work all together to form the What's Old is New RPG. So there's NOW that has a sort of the core rules are out now, and it's being worked on. The whole thing's being worked on right now, and that's modern. And then NEW, which is the sort of space opera sci-fi type stuff, which we do a show for as well. But why don't we go around the room? Let's meet all of our people and talk about any announcements that we have, and say who your character is, and let's get into the game. Let's do it. Why don't we start off with Brad?
Yo, what up? It's your boy Brad Werto. No announcements. You're on my channel. What up? I'm gonna be playing Cracule, the impish man creature thing, part demon, obsessed with finding information and knowledge. Last time we found a book and my character became obsessed with it, went to a lot of effort to read it using magic, and that's what my character's been doing, and that's pretty much my only drive as a character right now, is read this book. Exciting. I wasn't in the fight though. I wasn't in either of the fights. I didn't do anything other than go, I'll follow you guys around. Is that a book? Give me that magic book. I took the magic book, and then that's...
You did great, though. You did great.
Thank you very much.
You did good.
I broed out with Wish's character, but she's not here now, so I need a new bro mate. The book.
Don't sell yourself short.
It's funny because I'm like 2 feet tall in the game. Yeah. That's me. That's me. I'm done. I'm done here.
Distracted Elf?
Why, yes, hello. I am Distracted Elf indeed, and I play Trist. She is a one-armed, mad as a hatter, grand elf musketeer. There's really not more to say about her than that. That's all you need to know.
You
She's
never know what she's gonna do next.
fucking nuts.
Alrighty. Vanillus?
Hi. I play Galdrick.
Surprised you
Metal Arm.
remembered your name today.
Okay, you know what? I only forget one thing at a time, and today it was that I had a game. Okay, shut up.
Every week for the last several weeks.
Okay, you know what? I have a lot on my plate. I forgot. All right, fine. I'm gonna ban Peachy, and so problem solved. All right. I play Galdrick. I'm a dwarf, and I've lost part of my soul, and we haven't figured out exactly how that happened or what exactly that has caused to happen or other shenanigans. But yeah, I'm kind of a frontliner. I try to take hits and make sure my people stay alive. But I'm not as good as the cleric. Stop raising your eyebrows. I already see you down there, Zacatecus. Just like, you think he's a frontliner?
I just have very active eyebrows. I can't help it.
Like the Rock.
and so, yeah.
Eyebrows betray you.
I saw, dudes.
Excellent. Zagonicus?
Hey everybody, I'm Scaricus. I have active eyebrows. And I play Glenda Broadleaf, who is a halfling cleric. Her goal is just to stop people from dying, and also try and make things happy.
Make tea for everybody.
She's mom.
Mom. Yeah.
Check keep everyone safe and happy.
We should change your name to Mom on the overlay, I think.
But yeah,
Small folk mom.
as for me, I started playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag today, because everyone says it's one of the best, if not the best, Assassin's Creed game. I'm only a few hours in, but it's good fun so far. So I've been continuing that this week, and then more role-playing stuff, NEW on Saturday, so the futuristic version of this system, and then D&D 5e on Sunday. That's all for me.
Excellent. I'm Mark Steven. I am the GM of Doom. I'll be dragging these guys kicking and screaming through the adventure today. And unfortunately, yes, Wish was unable to join us today. She's got the PAX pox, and she's recovering. So don't worry, she will be returning. She's, well, probably, assuming she doesn't die. Let's hope that Wish doesn't die. Let's just take a second and just
got really grim.
Hope that Wish doesn't die. Let's hope that she makes it back for another episode. But yeah, I'll be doing my best to try and sort of play her character minimally today, and I will be the guy that's dragging these guys through this adventure today. Make sure you follow all these wonderful people if you haven't done so already. Click that follow button. Do it now. And let's get into the game. Let's do it. So, the characters are in a dark fantasy world overrun by demons known as Orgaris. There are a number of sort of demon lords known as the Nameless Ones that sort of have dominion over different areas of the world. We had each of the players create a Nameless One that had a certain aesthetic, I guess, to it. This is the only way you can really describe it. A sort of special purpose. And they are currently located in the ruins of Osgudal, a resistance location. There are people that try to fight against the demons. There are people that do their best to survive in this world. It is not a pleasant place. The demons have conquered it and have been ruling for 1,000 years. The group, as I said, is in the ruins of Osgudal. And in the last few sessions, they've had to deal with sort of supply shortages that have been going on. They found out that some goblins, as well as some strange frog demon, stole a bunch of supplies from the storehouse in Osgudal. And they hunted them down and reclaimed what they could. And in the process, they also found themselves a book that Cracule has been holding on to. They returned to the Enclave in Osgudal and spoke with the elders there to figure out what the best way to handle the situation is. Osgudal is very short on supplies, with barely a few months remaining. So the supplies being stolen and eaten by this strange frog demon and these goblins, at least most of the supplies being stolen and eaten, has really set Osgudal back for a while, and they don't have a lot of supplies left. The Enclave met and essentially tried to figure out a sort of plan while the players returned, I guess, back to their homes, and Cracule was given the strange book that he found, that the group found, to study. Just quickly before we get started here, I just want to go over any advancement that anybody's done. So I know Wish got some. She got some advancement done. She got some strength and a couple other skills. Made her a little bit faster because her speed was super bad.
It's crazy.
Yeah, she had like 2 speed, which is just 2 squares, 2 5-foot squares per action, which is super slow. And now she's up to 5 on the speed, so that's helped quite a bit. She picked up running.
On the slow one now, maybe. My speed is 4.
Very possibly. Yeah, very possibly. Yeah, she got... I'm looking at Glenda. Why am I looking at Glenda? Okay, so yeah, Wish for Rosalina picked up running. She got her strength up a little bit, and she picked up the acrobatic skill, getting herself a little bit more defense and a little bit more speed. Brad, what have you been doing?
Do I want to reveal it, or do I not?
Well, I guess you can just say what your advancement was. We don't have to talk about the specifics. It's up to you.
I have now the skill magic, skill summoning.
Awesome. Glenda, I think, was the only one that other one that did some advancement. What
Yeah.
did you pick up?
I bumped my Abjure up to 2 so I can give people even more defense so they don't die. And I also picked up running because I've only got wee legs and I have to be a wee bit quicker.
The speed is a big deal. It's a big help when you get your speed up.
Especially when you're a caster. Because you're a caster, you if you cast, you can't move the same turn. So every time you move, it needs to be as efficient as possible.
Right. Agreed. Okay. So, that being said, let's hop into things. I think this session we're going to start kind of in the nighttime. Darkness has fallen. And it's probably, I'd say it's probably about 8 o'clock or so at night. Cracule, you've been spending pretty much every waking moment with this book.
Yeah.
Now,
there was a maximum amount of time I could spend with it, right? It was like 8 hours, I think.
Yeah, I mean, how much MP does it take for you to use your spell, your comprehension spell?
We worked it out, and I reduced it, but I can't remember what the workings out was. But I'm down to 11 MP.
Yeah, I think it ended up costing you 3 MP because you discounted it. But I think you set yourself up to have it last for more than the 8 hours. So.
Yeah, and then I had the discount at the end of that.
Okay.
But I can't remember my workings out because I still don't really know the ins and outs of this system to remember over the course of 7 days.
Okay, so the magic, it's divination for you, right?
It is divination. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, it's divination. I think there's a name for the spell. Is it comprehension?
Yeah, comprehension,
Yeah. I haven't
So yeah, if you spend an hour casting the spell, you can reduce the MP by 3.
I don't think I did that because it was a waste of a precious hour with the book because I only had until the evening.
You
so
spent the minute and got the 2 discount.
Yeah, that was it.
And then
yeah, so you can cast it for 8 hours for 5 MP. So that'll get discounted to 3.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
That was my workings out.
All right. So you've been engrossed with this book, and you're sort of. Where is everybody? Did you guys go back to your respective homes? Did you go to a certain place? Which way did you head? I know that Rosalina went back to her place, and you guys sort of checked on her, and she was feeling pretty sick.
I think I definitely went to my little room, probably a little more than a room, very barren and bare little place.
Okay.
I mean, I'm waiting for the like, and we have to go and raid a caravan thing, like the order to come down from the folks about what we're gonna do next, sort of thing. So I guess probably home, but then, I also feel like Triss might be the kind of person to just wander around all night and try and find trouble. Like self-proclaimed watchman kind of stuff.
Okay, fair enough. What about Galdrick? What do you think Galdrick's doing?
I don't know what he would be doing right now. Probably, it's late into the night. I assume he would just be at his place sleeping.
It's about 8. It's about 8 o'clock at night. So
okay.
It's not super late.
I don't really know what I'll just say he's polishing his sword again. He's maintaining the sword at his place. There's nothing really for him to do yet, so
okay.
He's waiting.
Glenda, what about you?
Yeah, I'd have went back home, tidied up, and then prayed a little for guidance and all the rest of it.
Yeah, there's a gust of wind that might have blown through the door, and there's a few stray pebbles that made their way into your...
They get swept away.
Okay. Crackuel. A knock on your door sort of startles you out of your concentration. You hear just like a sort of... It's not a rough knock or anything. It's just kind of it's a sort of quiet...
Very quiet, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I ignore it. I go back to my reading. Hey, who could it possibly be that's more important? Nothing's more important than this book.
Absolutely.
They'll go away.
A moment without any response. The knocking sort of gets a little bit louder.
I'll get up and I'd say I probably don't even have my robe on. Like, I'm probably in like little more than just like, I have like a little strip of cloth, like barely even a loincloth that I wrap around, kind of like a nappy more than anything, or a diaper. And I
got that sort of
yeah,
wiggly.
yeah. I probably look like just a grotesque, oversized baby with wings, honestly. Waddling over to the door, but my robe and my mask will be on one side. I don't really wear anything else, and I'll huff and puff and head over to the door and uncautiously open it, expecting it to be one of these lot.
Okay.
Just push
when
it
you open up the door, you see a sort of sylvan elf outside that you immediately recognize as Vadhana. She's alone. And again, she has sort of tan skin. She doesn't look very old, but she, everyone sort of has appreciated the fact that she's the eldest like elf in Osgudal, and she's got like sort of like a dirty blonde kind of hair that's about to her shoulder blades in length. She wears generally pretty simple sort of clothing, but she keeps it clean. And she says, hello, Crackuel.
My wings betray me as they just fall down and just limp and loose to one as I'm just stricken with horror that I am in my diaper, and she's just appeared at the door. I'll attempt to remain composed. Your Excellency, if you wouldn't mind, one moment I'll put on my robe And then I'll pull the door slightly too, and like waddle as fast as I can. Maybe use my wings to help push me across the room. Throw the robe on, but it's pretty difficult to do because I've got 2 big slits in the back of this kind of just piece rag. I throw my wings through, put the robe on, pull it over my head. I won't bother with the mask, but I'll just try and pull this thing tight around me and make it smooth it down. Take a sniff of the room. It probably smells grotesque, but I'll do my best to make it not smell so bad. Press the digitation real quick so that the room smells really nice and clean.
There's just like some gusts of wind that just kind of like...
Yeah.
You see some papers sort of stack themselves up.
A nice rose petal smell to the room, and then I'll waddle very quickly back over to the door and push it open. If you would like to come in, and please. Oh.
Thank you. She sort of ducks her head underneath your hearth, and just kind of makes her way inside.
There's nowhere to sit. There's like a cot on one end, maybe like a box or crate or something for just very basic belongings that I have. But I really don't have much stuff. It all fits in my satchel anyway. Then there's a single low table in the center of the room that I kneel at. So even for my small stature, this thing is like real low to the ground, like nothing, barely off the ground.
It's like a step. It's like a step.
It's like a footstool to this person probably. But I'll kind of like beckon at it because I just sit at it kind of Japanese style, and I'll say, yes, if you would like to sit at the table, I tend to kneel at it myself.
She sort of sits with she kneels down and sort of rests her butt sort of on her heels, right? That sort of traditional like Japanese way of sitting. I think that they use it like as a form of punishment, but she sits that way just normally, and she just says, she straightens her clothing, and she says, I have to admit, this entire book situation has me very intrigued. I've been eager to come by and find out what you've found.
Oh, well, yes. I've really not had much time with it. Could I offer you a drink? I have water.
Thank you. That's not necessary.
I don't have water, so I'm really glad she says no. Oh, yes. I could pop to Glenda's and make you a tea. She makes a very nice tea if you'd like, if you feel more comfortable.
I came to hear about the book.
To the information, then. I have a parchment and ink whack in my stuff. Or I have paper, parchment, 10 parchments, and a pen and ink. And I would say that the information that I have available to me about this book, about what I found out, I've probably written down in common on this thing for myself, because remembering, I'm scared that remembering this information after the comprehension spell is worn off will go away. So I've definitely written it down for myself on a piece of paper.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you trying to be forthright with your information?
I feel like being relatively forthright with the information with this person might buy me more time with the book, because if she's probably going to see straight through me. Most people tend to see through me. I'm not much of a liar. I can bluff a little, but I can't lie, and I'm not very charismatic. So, yeah, I'll sit in front of her, and all the book and the pen and the parchment will probably be around, pretty obviously. But I'll bring the papers towards myself, but I'll read from them, and I would say she's probably already seen it and probably been able to make out most of the stuff, depending on how good she is with seeing upside down writing.
Seems like she's being very respectful of your space, so she doesn't appear that she's being extremely nosy or anything like that, but she is very focused on you. She's looking
wonder-
at you very directly.
I don't have any bullshit that I can just immediately do. I don't think without her noticing, do I? No. I wondered if I had just something that I can read her mentally. I do, but probably won't without her noticing. No, I'll probably play this pretty straight, to be honest, and I'll sit down. I'll take my piece of paper with the writing on it. The spell probably wore off recently, I assume, if we're in the night at some point. So I probably can't read the book anymore. So it's probably to one side, and I've probably written a couple of extra notes around this page. It's a messy, scratchy writing, like shorthand. And I'll say, yeah, I'll pull the thing up and say, well, to business then. The book itself it's interesting in the way that it has been crafted and put together. There is no chapters to it. It's well over 1,000 pages long. I've discovered that it's extremely difficult to translate, even with the comprehension that I use via my own personal techniques. It seems that it's intentionally made difficult for one to understand, possibly with the intent to hide from prying eyes the particular contents. The particular skills that I use to read the book appear to possibly be the only way to read it. Most of it reads very similar to that of a journal. I've read many journals in my time trying to find out information on certain individuals. A lot of it is a rambling mess, though I do believe it belonged to some sort of high cleric. There is a name which is repeated many times. When I say it, I want to look and read her face to see if she recognizes it as I say, the name of the cleric is very possibly Dalibor.
Okay. So without a specific insight skill, it's going to be an intuition-based attempt, basically. You're using your intuition.
I just want to see if anything flickers, any recognition, anything happens.
Sure. So just give me an intuition check, just the attribute. Okay, a 10. She gets to roll a lot of dice.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so far your interactions with Vadhana have essentially led you to understand that she is extremely unemotional. She does not seem to get overwhelmed or anything. She's very reserved. And you saw this when you interacted with her and Demetrius and Barbena in the Enclave. She doesn't seem to have any reaction that you can see.
Yeah, it's not that I expected her to. It's just that I'm very interested in this person, and I wondered if she knew who it was so that I could take more information on him. Like if she just has like, oh, that's a famous person that you've not heard of. Yeah, if she doesn't react, I won't push it. I'll just carry on. I'll carry on looking down to my list, and I'll say, Dalibor refers to some sort of shapeless creature that seems to speak to him or her, and believes that it is the only way to save Orgeras. Again, I'll look at her, but I assume it'll be the same thing where she doesn't really react.
Right.
And then I'll continue. This is often mentioned, more like a madman's scribblings than facts. We've heard of many people who speak of the end of the world, though I would state maybe it's already been and gone. The pages themselves are quite a jumble. As I said, there are no chapters, and it seems to just sort of jump and continue at various other points, back and forth. It's quite hard to keep track of precisely each point that Dalibor is trying to make. There are passages that also speak of summoning small creatures from other places and trials. One such trial resulted in a tiny, vicious creature emerging from the shadows that looked like some sort of vermin with horrible spines protruding from its body and sharp claws and teeth and pustules, oozing a terrible fluid onto the floor, not so unlike what the others described as this frog-type demon creature that they fought with. I followed the summoning relatively well, and I was able to learn a few things from it myself, but in the time that I spent with the book, this is really all that I've been able to gather. I would have to spend a little longer trying to put together the specifics of precisely what this book's intent and use might be, or whether it's just ramblings of Dalibor, this cleric. Although, I will say, I believe that some of the magics are correct. Not only is the book very difficult to understand, possibly written in some sort of magical way, but I've learned a trick or two myself from it, so it does appear to hold up, at least on a magical level. Whether Dalibor's mind could be the same, could be quite as mad as Trist, or maybe less. You're the only mad person I know to reference.
This is very interesting. I want you to keep this a secret between you and myself.
A flicker of my wings immediately, but I try to act calm.
Barbena is being difficult about the entire plan that we are trying to come up with to obtain supplies for Osgudal. And I think if she learns anything more about this book and the summoning and whatnot, she'll immediately desire this book to be destroyed. But you seem to be a very discerning fellow. You understand the importance of this text, yes?
Yes, I believe we could learn quite a lot from it, one way or the other.
I think perhaps if and when it comes up, you should dismiss the book as being valuable. Perhaps some minor pieces of information. Don't let them know that it is about this, well, from what you tell me about these creatures and summoning and from this mad person, this Dalibor. Tell them nothing of this.
Right, I shall do my very best, of course. And of Demetrius?
Demetrius is, well, he is extremely intelligent. I'm sure that he would understand the book and its uses as well, but I think for now, it's best to keep it secret. If Barbena finds out about it, I think her immediate reaction will be to try and destroy the book.
Well, yes, of course, we mustn't let that happen, at least not until we've worked out precisely what it's about, and I've been able to draw a little more information out of it myself. Yes, of course, no problem whatsoever. And the book itself, would you rather I kept it with me, or will you be taking it yourself?
No, I think you can hold on to it for now. It's safest with you.
Another flicker of the wings. Yes, of course, yes. I have a lockbox. I point at just some wretched, rubbish-looking thing. Doesn't look like it would be particularly safe. And of course, I'll figure out some way to protect the book, perhaps myself. I know a trick or two.
Very well. I would like to stay updated on what you find. However, perhaps we can meet up on occasion and you can report to me what you find. There could be something very important there.
Absolutely, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Now, if you could be so kind as to go fetch your friends. We are going to meet with the Enclave in just a little time. Please.
Yes. All of them. Perhaps we could leave Triss behind this time.
Why is that?
Well, she's a few. Okay. Her mind is not quite. Well, she's useful, I suppose, in a fight. If you think that's useful, then we'll need her. But if it's just a conversation and she's going to be in here, in amongst my things, then...
No, bring them to the Enclave.
Oh,
I
well.
think meeting here is a... She sort of just barely glances around, maybe out of the corner of her eye. Isn't the best idea.
Yes, I understand. Just devastated. Yes.
That one like sideways glance that lasted a half a second just immediately dropped
Called me
your
out.
stomach out from you.
I literally just didn't want Trist in my house. Yes, of course, I'll bring them all. Promptly.
Excellent. Now, please don't mention my visit and keep it secret between us, yes?
Of course.
Very well. She rises up kind of daintily and gracefully, and she walks out.
Am I able to remember the things from the book just from my memory, short, long-term memory? Or, because I'm not too sure how the spell works. Like, once it wears off, does my memory become the same as the thing?
I think you're... So I think what'll happen is after each time, I'll make you roll a logic check to see.
Okay.
So give me a straight up logic check.
7.
A 7. Oof. No. It's a good thing you took notes.
Okay. In that case, I won't eat the paper like I was going to. I'll fold it up as small as I can, which is what, like 7 times or whatever that myth is. And then I'll put it like deep into the bottom of my satchel and hide it away. I'm pretty confident that no one will be able to read the book. I don't think I can do any long-term hexes on stuff yet. The permanent stuff is time-based, isn't it? Because I'd like to do a hex on it and you know, like someone touches it and it fucks with their brain. But I don't think I can do that.
Permanent duration costs you like
Yeah.
so much magic that you can't spend.
Yeah, and I don't even have the ability to. But yeah, I'll consider it. I'll think about it, but I don't think.
Permanent is 21 MP.
Yeah, I
And
probably
you have grade 21. Oh no, wait, that's in the.
You would need a magic stat of 20. Whatever.
No, that's in the first section. That's the improving. That's not in the enhancements. So you just have to have the 21 MP.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna. My plan was to do that originally, and then I remembered that permanent stuff is not as simple as that. Yeah, I'll definitely keep the book on me, and I'll put that in my satchel as well. It's pretty big, isn't it? This book, you said, or is it like normal size?
The book is very large. It's
like a large.
it's over
tome.
1,000 pages. Yeah.
Because I don't think my bag is that big, but I'm not 100% sure what the difference between a bag and a satchel is. But I might need to go and buy one to carry this thing around. But even if it's sticking out the top, it's no big deal. I'll stuff it into the satchel and yeah, head out. I don't really have anything in the house. I probably don't even lock it. I just walk out and head up to whoever's house is. Who's closest to me? Galdrick? No, fuck that. I'll go to Glenda's. I'll let Glenda deal with it. No, I don't want to be the one that goes around and gets everyone. I'll just go and get Glenda, and then she'll go and mom the rest of it.
Okay.
So I'll head to Glenda's.
All right, and you go to Glenda, and Glenda again. She's got like the cleanest place, probably out of in the entirety of Osgudal. Maybe a few of the elves that reside here try to keep their place kind of clean, but Glenda actively sweeps like outside with her probably poorly fashioned broom. It's like those old, like seriously bullshit looking brooms that are just made from like pieces of straw and twine that are put together on a stick. Like if you ever watch any Hong Kong martial arts movies, you see the little old granny lady out there with that horrible broom trying to sweep something. That's what Glenda has. And it's just propped up against the side of the wall.
Does
And,
Glenda have any plants? Is that a tall order for this particular area that we live in?
I think in general, plants are probably not the easiest to keep down here.
I mean, like in a little plant pot, like I don't know, like a little indoor plant.
There is some diffuse light that makes its way in the mornings and such. The sun has to be at a certain angle to kind of come through.
Yeah, I don't think I have any plants. Though.
How do you have anything of decoration or anything that makes your house look nice on the inside?
Oh, I've tried to put like a tablecloth on a table and things like that, and maybe I've got some kitchen equipment hanging on the walls and a shelf with some bowls on it, stuff like that.
Very rudimentary stuff.
Yeah. All kind of really rough and rickety, thrown together looking. Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, a lot of this world is sort of at the Renaissance level of culture. But since you guys are sort of far removed from it where you are, the only time that the opportunity arises for you to get these materials is if you kind of take them off of someone else, whether it be stealing or murder or whatever, or sort of randomly finding a trader in some way. And there is a trader that's in town that will try to make their way through every now and again.
It's just that I might buy something nice for my walls for the next time that Vadhana comes to see me. But I wondered if I could just be like, Glenda, can you make my house look like nice and homely like yours? But if it's just like a shelf and a tablecloth, then I'll just knock on the door instead and be like, Glenda, it's me, Cracule.
Come on in. I'm just finishing up.
Oh, no, we must away. We have to leave.
Where are we headed?
Back to the Enclave. We've been summoned.
Okay. Did you get the others?
No, I thought I would leave that to you. I pulled down my mask, which I now have with me, and now I've immediately become.
I know what that means.
I've deferred to you, and now you're in charge, and I'm just going to follow you around like a puppy.
Okay, then. I'll sweep around the room real quick. And
I'm also
put my
carrying
ring
my
against
bag
the
in a
wall.
different way. Like normally I probably just sling it over a shoulder, but now I'm like holding it around the front of me like a kid with a fucking new school bag full of books.
I'll bring my bag with me. I'll pick up my bag and throw it on my back in case we're sent out right away. Did he say what it was about, Crackle?
Yes. Some, to the whatever bits and bobs they were. Most likely about the book, actually. I assume. I don't know.
How
No,
did
they
the
didn't.
reading go? Did you?
It's very difficult to read. It's mostly the ramblings of a mad old man. I haven't quite worked it out. It jumps in places and doesn't really make any particular sense. I probably will need a little more time with it, but it wasn't quite providing the information that I think we'd all hoped. Nothing of great use. I lie.
Well, it's a very large book. I'm sure later on you'll find something useful.
It's definitely going to take me a little longer. I hope they don't want to take it back.
Okay, let's just... I tap my quarterstaff against the wall. Goldrick, are you decent?
You hear kind of like muffled sounds of like an eating dwarf.
Okay. Crack your head on in. I know the dwarves don't always eat clothed.
Yeah, I'll pad in and see what's around. I'm now like scanning your house as well, Goldrick, see if you've got anything nice, like a tapestry on the wall.
Absolutely not. I essentially have a little cot with my bed on it, and I also have I do have some means of chairs in my house. They're essentially washed up and used like wooden kegs that are completely empty, but there's one still that's like semi-full, which is I sit on, and I just kind of like have a little sip, like I'm using it very ration, you know, and I'm just sitting on top of a used keg, and I'm just eating something. You don't really know what it is. It's actually a sandwich, but I'm eating something.
Are you decent?
What? I'm wearing. I've got enough of the clothes on. It's fine. What do you want?
Okay, head in. We were called to the Enclave, so we have to head on over. Bring your food with you.
Again? All right, fine. Shit. All right.
Have either of you seen Trist?
Which one's Trist?
You know which one Trist is.
2 arms?
No.
Oh, okay.
She could be anywhere by now. Perhaps we should just
Shit.
let
Alright,
her
give
do
me
her own thing.
2 minutes to be right aside.
Okay,
Not sure why we
we'll just go
always
get. We'll just go get
insist on
Rosalina and we'll
bringing
meet you
her
over here.
along. Honestly.
All right. I'm gonna like go through.
Dracula is just kind of muttering like in the
Yeah. I'm also like moving around, like
hopping on
poking
one
at
leg
stuff.
to try to put on food, or try to put on my pants while I'm still taking bites, like actively.
Yeah, take your time, Goldrick. We'll come back and get you once we get Rose.
I think in a rush, Galdrick. I think in a rush, Galdrick probably is trying to put on food instead of pants.
Yeah. I put a piece of bread on my foot. I'm like, fuck.
Pants are just like a sandwich for your legs.
Facts. With Zacotticus.
Anyway, I head down to Rosalina's. Give her a little knock.
Okay.
Ros,
What is it?
we have to go back to the Enclave again.
I don't want to.
Do you mind if I come in? I can just have a look at you.
Maybe we shouldn't. I grab it. Like, I think we should just leave her there.
And she says, "Wait a minute."
No, it's disgusting. This is quite.
And she says, "Come on in."
I'm gonna place a hex on her. No, not really. I'm not going in.
Okay. Yeah. I'll head in. How are you? You feeling? You feeling okay?
Well, I haven't had the opportunity to meet anyone yet this evening, so I am not exactly feeling my best.
Well, you know, does this help at all? And you know, I want to just use my heal cantrip. Can I use heal life as a cantrip to try and just ease the feeling of sickness a little bit? You know, normally the heal cantrip's 1 MP, but I want to do kind of the equivalent of just easing any kind of nausea or whatever she's feeling.
Okay. So, yeah, it's 1 MP. And you kind of place a hand on what?
Or probably just the side of her face. Like, come here.
She leans
I'll-
down.
Yeah, I'll just looking in her eyes a little bit. Okay. How does this feel?
It feels very good.
Okay, well,
And she says, "Are you busy tonight?"
just we're going to get off to the Enclave, I told you.
Oh, Enclave, schmonclave. And she says, "All those people are so stupid." And she just kind of like caresses your cheek.
That's nice, thank you. Well, do you know
Are
what-
you sure we don't stay around here tonight?
I pull my bag off and start digging into it. I pull out some soap. Here you go. Just clean up because of the sick and stuff, and then you can.
She says, I don't need that. And she takes the soap and just kind of pushes it out of the way. She does like a snap, cast prestidigitation, and you just kind of. I think for Rosalina, since she is a Cambion sex demon, she's got like a. I think she definitely has like a boob jiggle slider, that needs to, that is turned all the way up. So everything that she does has a little jiggle to it. And she just kind of she shakes it a little bit, and everything just kind of cleans itself off of her, falling like particles down to the ground.
I really need to learn that trick. Okay.
It's very nice and handy. I can show you sometime, perhaps tonight.
Well, depends on if we're busy. I'll keep it in mind. Do you have any idea where Trist is?
My plan is I'm just gonna run into you on the way to the Enclave. Like everybody looks for me for a little while, and then they just can't find me, and I like run into you while I'm patrolling.
We'll probably learn by this point that it's probably best to just hope to run into you.
Yeah,
But I check with people anyway.
I think that Rosalina probably says, "You're trying to find Trist? Good luck."
Well, you never know. We might get lucky one of these times. Okay, well, hopefully Galdrick's ready now, and then we can head over and we'll just have him shout all the way, and maybe we'll find her.
Okay.
Let's
Right.
get going.
If that is what you want, then fine, we'll go to the Enclave.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Okay.
As long as you promise to make some more of those omelets. Those were very good, even coming up the second time.
Okay, let's go. I'll head on out. Is Galdrick here yet, or are we still hearing clattering from his shack?
I'll say I just kind of fall out my front door, and I'm still eating, but now I'm dressed fully.
Anything on backwards?
Roll me an agility check, please, Galdrick. A 10 on a 2d6. No, nothing's on backwards. He managed to somehow get her. It's covered in crumbs, but he did manage to get the clothing on correctly, yes.
All right, are we ready to go?
Do you fancy giving Trist a shout as we go, or just...
Oh, sure, yeah, I can do that.
He's really going to yell, isn't he? And she Rosalina, talks down to you, Crackule.
To be honest, it's worked almost every single time.
All right, let's go. I'll find her.
Just wait for her to zip line in.
Yeah. I start...
I think if you guys are walking towards the Enclave, in your little band, I end up stumbling out of an alleyway and tripping over one of you in sort of a
100% it's Crackule.
yeah, in sort of a spectacular fashion, try and recover before I fall on my face. And then sort of we brush everything off and stand all appropriately posed, with a flourish, and go, I didn't realize you were also out patrolling tonight. Something amiss?
Would you like part of my cookie?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Sure. I
Perfectly.
don't know where I got it.
I already ate.
All right.
We're on our way to the Enclave, so if you want to come with us, we'll take care of whatever business there, and then...
Have they come to a decision about whether we're going to go raiding caravans or not? I'm most excited about the idea.
I assume that's why we're going.
Yes, I believe that's why we're being summoned.
Well, good
There
then.
you have
Yes,
it.
perfect. Onwards, immediately. Go. I will follow you. No, I will lead, and then I just start walking.
There we go. Okay.
Why the hell are you walking so fast?
Yeah, I think isn't Triss like the tallest member of the party at
Definitely,
like
yeah.
6 foot? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, don't-
Rosalina's the next tallest, I think. She's I forgot how tall Wish made her, but she's probably average female human height, I think.
Goldrick, don't run so much after you've just eaten. You get a stitch.
I'll be fine. Would you like part of my cookie?
No, thank you.
Crackle? Rosalina?
The only cookie I want you can't give me.
Bet you I could. Wait.
Please, we're off to see the Enclave, if we wouldn't mind. It's just a teensy tiny bit of class. Both of you.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. I'll be sure to show all sorts of class to make sure you feel welcome.
Thank you.
I am always at the height of my game when it comes to class.
Right.
Since we're reminding people of things, don't forget your manners.
She's talking about you, Flutters.
I
I
hardly
look at the wings.
I'm like,
I give everyone a look. You're all terrible at being polite. It's all of you, okay? Doesn't take much to say please and thank you.
yeah, I'm quite aware. I'm very
Sometimes
well
situations
behaved.
require a little more of a, assertive approach. I like the assertive approach personally.
The assertive approach. You're more likely to burn the place down with your assertion.
I don't have any fire.
Yes, well, let's make sure that she
Ooh,
doesn't
I
get
could make
any.
you some. I get some
No,
tinder
no,
up.
no, please do not.
No.
Anything, not again.
What do you mean again? That last one wasn't my fault.
But we don't want her to have fire. Anything but fire. Not the fire again. Never let her get near the fire again.
Right?
You are talking. I am here.
Yes,
You
well,
know, I
keep
can hear
walking.
you.
Keep walking. Come on, we're almost
Yes,
there.
fine. Yes, we're already late. I assume
I
to this
assume
meeting.
so
I
as well,
know
yes.
nothing about.
Okay. So you guys return to the Enclave, where you previously met with Demetrius, Barbena, and Vadhana. When you walk up, again, the building, much like the rest of the buildings in Osgudal, are mostly stone and sort of like driftwood patchwork. And the Enclave is a sort of medium-sized building, sort of short and squat. It's only like one floor. The buildings here, and there's lights inside. There's a guard outside, and yeah, when you guys approach, the guard sort of looks at you, has a spear that's wooden with a metal tip, and just kind of crosses the door with the spear and says, it's a human, and they say, who goes there?
Hello, I'm Glenda. We've been summoned.
Trist, we're here.
Aldrich!
I'm hiding in a shadow somewhere nearby.
Just behind Rosalina. She's got like her wing probably close to her body and just kind of clutching her wing. And he says, yes, the Enclave was expecting you.
As I expected they would be expecting.
What kind of squint question marking?
I say, pushing past this guy if he doesn't stop me.
Yeah, he just pulls back the spear and lets you guys go in. Inside, you can see that Barbena seems to be pacing around. She's the dwarf elder of the bunch. She's got a short beard, just the sort of bottom, like the Abe Lincoln sort of chin strap kind of beard. It just kind of pulls down about an inch or two. And she has, I forget what hair color we gave her. I want to say it was brown. She's sort of pacing around. She's got sort of sprigs of gray hair that are just kind of like unwound from her hair that she's got sort of pulled back in some braids, and they're just kind of flopping about. Demetrius is sat in a chair. It looks like he's sipping some water or tea, and he's speaking with Vadhana sort of quietly. You guys walk in. Demetrius says, "Ah, here they are. Hello. Welcome
Hello.
back."
Thank you.
Hello.
What are we here for this time, Demetrius?
First, I think it's important that we speak with Krakuel and discover what he was able to determine from his reading.
Yes, of course. The book, I have brought it with me. He places it on the table. Your Excellencies, you push it like not too close to them, just so that it's like on the table. I present it, but though I would like to keep it closer
Be like
to
a
me.
Vanna White, kind of like tilt the book and like showcase it.
Yeah, I push it. And I step back and say, though I have spent many hours poring over the pages, it's very difficult to understand a lot of the specifics that are inside the book. There are no chapters, and it's at least 1,000 pages long, which means I can't possibly read the thing in the small amount of time that I have spent with it. It's a very jumbled mess, and for the most part it appears to be some sort of journal. Really nothing to be... nothing that we expected, and nothing to be bothered about, I would imagine.
I think out of the corner of your eye, you just see Vadhana looking at you very intently.
Yeah, I'm aware, and I just kind of I'm presenting it quite nonchalantly as well. Like before, as if I was like really desperate to read it. Now I'm trying to pretend kind of as if I'm not as bothered about the book. But I'll continue and say the contents are quite a mess, and though I do believe there could be some information in here, I can't imagine it would really provide us with much help here. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to read it a little more. It's a strange language, and at first I thought possibly it required a magical comprehension to understand the words, but I just believe it was written by somebody a little mad, and they've written it in their own writings, and I'd like to spend a little longer trying to work out how to decrypt it and read it, but it just appears to be mostly the ramblings of a madman from a very long time ago. But I don't have many books, so I'd very much like to keep it and read it, if you wouldn't mind. It didn't seem to have too much to do with the writings that were on the wall. A mere coincidence, perhaps.
That sounds very disappointing. Barbena sort of says, "Are you sure? There was nothing bad inside."
I'd say at this point, 99% sure this is just the ramblings of a madman, somebody who believes in things that can't possibly be coming true. Not really anything to be foretold or concerned about. Again, I'd like to spend a little longer reading it and poring over some of the words. The language is
Please
very
give me
complex.
a charisma or reputation plus your bluffing skill.
Ooh. How do I add a luck dice?
Do well.
So you
Do
can
well.
add. So what's your luck dice pool?
I don't know. The number or the d6s?
The dice pool. So you have two d6.
2d6.
Okay. So at the top of your sheet, you see where it says luck pool, and it's got those three black circles there, or the two black circles. What you could do is once you use a luck die, you can just move it down. Just click the next circle, so you can keep track of your luck dice pool.
Show some people
so
on
you
the
can
screen
spend
as well.
however many luck dice you want right now, and you can refresh that once a day.
Oh, well then, fucking blowing two on this then. So
Okay. So what you're gonna do then is roll the charisma plus your bluffing, and then we're gonna do a separate 2d6 exploding.
all right, in with the bluffing. Oh,
A 9 on a 3d6.
and then
A little less
2d6.
than average. So do a /R 2d6 and an exclamation point.
Oh, I did. Sorry, I didn't do the exclam. I need that, yeah?
Okay, another 5. Okay. So
I didn't do the exclamation point. Does that matter?
No,
doesn't,
you didn't get
no.
any sixes.
Okay.
Basically, what that
Oh, that
does
will
is that
explode the
makes the
sixes.
dice explode. So if you get a 6, it'll roll another one for you. Okay. So Barbena's kind of like looking at you, and she looks worried. She looks legitimately worried. Like she's like rubbing her hands, kneading her hands, like she's legitimately sort of afraid. And she looks at you, and
One
and
last
by the
thing.
way, just an FYI,
Yeah.
it's a good thing you rolled that because you got a 14 and I rolled a 13. Just
Oh, okay. Oh, I was gonna add an extra thing on top of it, but I just want to check. I have a spell, a compulsion spell, which doesn't cost me any MP, but I can communicate simple concepts to creatures. It's called Send Emotion, so I can send emotions around. But is it the type of thing where it's really obvious and people are aware that I'm doing it?
Let's see. So message costs you 1 MP to start. So depends on how you cast it.
It's Send Emotion under compulsion, not message. It's different. Hang on, I can't remember what page.
Oh,
it's
okay.
on.
Is that? Okay.
I have it under
yeah,
my
I see it.
exploits. You'll see it if you scroll
Yeah.
down.
So creatures in an area of effect. So it does cost you MP depending on how big an area of effect you do. Because you can just touch somebody and you can use the Send Emotion for 0.
I think like I just want to do like that, like a pheromone area effect of just calmness while I'm speaking, kinda, or like just a poof. But if it's the type of thing where it's really obvious, where I'm like hoodagaba and it's obvious,
you can do an area of effect, and I think it's probably a stealth roll to just determine if you can do it stealthily.
It says at the end of it, unwilling creatures require an attack roll as normal, so you would need to.
So it's pretty. They would know.
Yeah, they would know.
Okay, then I won't do it then. Yeah, if it's the type of thing where I can just kind of do it and it's very casual and quiet, even if it requires a stealth roll, then I would have attempted it.
I think you and I can have a conversation about this later. We can sort of do some tweaks to this because I think it's very important for your character to have this kind of a spell. So I think you and I can sort of DM brainstorm a way to tweak this and maybe make it cost a little bit of MP or something to make you do stuff like that.
I'd like to be able to. I feel like I'm going to have to do this check a lot, this bluffing charisma, make sure that the others don't find out about this book thing. So I'd like to, almost every time I present the information here, just present, like, just the emotions that I send to everyone is like, I don't care about this book. I'm very, like, this is not interesting. Just let's move on to a more pressing matter kind of feeling, like a very calm feeling and not an agitated one. But for now, I feel like I'm feeling relatively calm in terms of, like, it feels like I presented my information in a believable way, I guess. So yeah, I'll finish. And yeah, even though Vadhana is kind of looking at me, I won't reveal anything. I guess I probably have my wings under control as well with the bluffing check, so.
Okay. So you see Barbena just kind of like knead her hands, and she says, "That's good. That's good. That's very good. I'm glad that there wasn't anything else that was inside that book. That's good. Yes. So we brought you back because we've sort of reached the conclusion that we're all right when it comes to supplies, meaning each one of us is correct. We need to do both things. We need to raid some caravans, and we also have to find a more steady supply line. Yes, I think that both solutions to our supply problem are important. We need something short-term to currently fill the void that we've obtained from losing the supplies, as well as something more long-term. We've had an influx of people and immigrants into the ruins
as of late, and we're going to need more supplies in general. So I think it's very important that we set up both. So we're going to leave it up to you in which way you'd like to assist, but we will be sending you to try and resolve the supply issue for us. We have several teams and crews that are out right now trying to do different things for the resistance. But any help that you might offer, and it seems you might be quite skilled, would be useful. So, we'd like to leave it up to you. Which would you prefer to do? Would you like to try to go to Thurgan and see if you can obtain a more reliable way to get the supply chain more in our favor for the long term, or would you prefer to try to find and raid a caravan?
I look at the rest of the party like, obviously, you know, if nobody says anything,
I'm like slyly
Both.
putting the book back in my bag, like just I'm like, oh, whatever you guys want to do. Even though I know if I had been listening, I probably would have chosen the former. But I'm like, no, and I'm just not.
Well, there is nothing I enjoy more than bringing the sword of justice directly to the heart of our demonic foes. And so the raiding of a caravan sounds quite good. But also the chance to visit another city, maybe more demonic foes. That could be fun.
I say why not both? I say we go to the city and see if we can establish something, and on our way home, we raid a caravan.
It shouldn't be too difficult if we find somebody for me to draw that information from them, and perhaps we can find a better caravan. I don't know, hiding
Two
the book
birds,
again.
one stone. That's what my dad always used to say.
Standing on the road for days at a time, waiting for something to pass us by, does not seem particularly appealing, so we'll have to get the information somewhere anyway.
Like a major city.
May as well start with the city, don't you think?
Vadhana sort of mentions, she just sort of says, if you go to Thurgan, it will be important to establish your credentials before entering. It is, in fact, a mixed city, and you will find both demons as well as tolls there. If you enter the city, they will treat you as Croat, unless someone decides to play the part of a toll.
I look at the sex demon.
Yeah, sex demon.
I look at myself, obviously. Oh, sorry. Obviously.
So Rosalina says, "Don't look at me. I am a Cambion. They don't exactly like me."
Yes, of course.
Holy shit, are you really telling me we're gonna put our hopes in the one-armed?
No, no. I think if we have to do that,
No.
then I'll do it.
Did I not just volunteer?
No, you didn't.
I swear I did.
I thought I heard you as well. I'm on your side. I don't know what's happening.
I just think I'm a little better equipped.
No, I
potentially.
think you might be a little bit too polite. What if you have to show force and you have to punch one of us in the face?
No, that's.
I can definitely do that.
I turn to you and I slap you in the face.
But how hard is it? Because I can picture your character being like,
No, I give you. No, I don't give you a slap, but I do it hard enough that most people would be convinced that it was with some sort of intention.
Give me a strength check, please, Glenda. And if you have brawling, you can add that.
No, I don't have that. I'm just hoping to catch him off guard. Can I use my agility instead?
Sure, absolutely.
Quick. Go. My PDF away so I can see. 14.
14. Yeah, so we're gonna take off a d6 from your dice pool for your defense. Galdrick, what's your normal defense? Melee.
Oh god. 26.
26. I think
Would
that
still be much
still
higher,
gets
yeah.
out of the way. Okay, yeah. She goes in for the smack, and you just kind of like just
It goes
dodge out of the way barely.
You probably feel the wind from it.
Oh.
I can do what's necessary. I just prefer to not do that. But when we
Nice.
have to do it, we have to do it.
What? Next time I won't step out of the way. I'll sell it a bit better for you next time.
Okay, good.
Great. Well,
If somebody needs to be slapped, I can slap people very well.
I
Here,
offered that.
Galdrick, let me show you. Rosalina just kind of goes in for like a slap right across your face.
Don't come on. Behave yourselves.
Why am I getting slapped so much? The Enclave is right there.
I know a lot of people who enjoy it.
I tried to enjoy it. You said I didn't even have the cookie. Whatever the hell that means.
Okay, sorry. Vidania, Demetrius. So what are we going to do then?
That's a good place for us to take our first break. We'll be right back, everybody, in just a few minutes. Stay tuned for more of the Nameless Ones from Tablestory.
The Nameless One.
Whoa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Brad Werter, but really, this show is run by Wax Steven. Take it
What's
away.
up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nameless Ones by Tablestory, and we're jumping back into the campaign. The characters are deciding the best way to handle a choice of how they're going to proceed to assist getting supplies for the resistance located in the ruins of Osgudal. And they've decided, I think, from what it sounds like, that you guys will be both going to Thurgan as well as trying to, on the way back, see if you can find and raid a caravan to try and get as many supplies as possible for the ruins of Osgudal. So, a piece of information that I am dropping a bomb for you guys, dropping a bomb on you guys again, because I like to do that all the time. It's nice, keeps everybody on their toes. Is that as we progress in this campaign, you guys and your actions will be directly sort of affecting the resistance. It's sort of like upgrades for the resistance as you play along. So the more stuff you do for the resistance and the different kinds of things you do, you will assist in building it up and sort of assisting them.
It's XCOM.
Yep. That's exactly right. It's just XCOM. So
I got 2 pro XCOM players here. Okay, it's fine. We got this.
I am not pro.
You're
Elf
way
is
more
way better
pro
than
than me, but then there's Elf.
I am definitely very angry. I can say that. I am extremely angry. He's got it. I don't know, Elf, if you ever saw the clip of me
I don't know. if I-
raging at
I don't
XCOM.
know if I did.
The Goticus has to find it. He's already got it. He's got it bookmarked. So yeah, you guys will be sort of affecting the resistance as you go directly. Okay, so Glenda, you sort of stepped forward to try and play the role of a toll, or also known as a tolerated. Individuals belonging to the humanoid species that sort of, when the demons overrun the world, sort of gave in and were like traitors. They essentially gave up power so that they could retain some semblance of power when the demons took control. So yes, you sort of step forward trying to take the role of the toll. Vadhana says, "Very well. This seems like a reasonable choice. Have you ever met a toll?"
I still think I was the more reasonable choice, but fine if you want to go with her.
Met at all. I think I probably saw them, but meet them not so much.
She says, "Aside from me,
Oh, well, I'm not too familiar with tolls in general, no, to be honest with you, but you know, I'll try my best."
try your best. You're going to need to do much better than that if you're going to pass yourself off as a toll."
And see, I have the appropriate confidence, whereas she's going to try her best. I'm just saying.
Well, I can do it, and well, I'm a little worried about the
I
alternative.
think we all are very worried about all alternatives.
You don't have to be worried. I can do it. Okay, I'll tell you. I was a toll.
What?
Oh, really? How very interesting.
I wasn't out of character for the audience and why, in case he was wondering.
Kind of upset. now.
Okay, so give me a bluffing check plus your charisma
Okay.
or reputation.
Do I have insight
I got a 21.
I don't know. Do you? Do you have the insight skill? Because you can get that as a skill.
I am choosing not to try and discover this lie. I just believe it immediately.
I just kind of want to do like the, huh? Like,
Um,
I'm just trying to prove I can be convincing.
21, are you fucking kidding me?
okay. So Vadhana says, interesting. And what house did you belong to?
House Gold Leaf.
Gold leaf? Well, that's very interesting. I've never heard of the gold leaves before. Where do they hail from?
Well, they're from you know,
These are the questions that you will be asked. It is important that you know the answers to them, Glenda. If you are at all. You see, you'll have to pass yourself off as nobility. You'll need to wear clothing, and you will need servants. You will need Croat to follow and serve you at your barest whim, if you are to pull this off.
This is sounding more and more like a job I should be doing.
maybe we should just do the caravans instead.
No, you know what? I'm beginning to think a bit more that one arm should handle this. You might be a wee bit too soft for this one.
So what I'm thinking
And I
is,
say that in the lightest way possible. You know I love you, Glenda.
thank you, but if we don't trust her with fire,
Well, we just won't give her any fire.
right? But what the point I'm making is, this mission's much riskier than giving her flint and tinder, don't you think?
By the way, I am standing in a very noble posture at this point in time.
Yeah,
Very regal bearing.
Bring that up.
Mm.
She even has the flourishes down.
Well,
I'll let you be the judge of it, Vadhana. You
your
clearly know
confidence,
better.
your confidence is wavering in front of me. I think your friends may be correct. Trist seems more confident in her abilities. Confidence is the most important thing.
Oh God, what have I done?
Well, if you think it's safe for Tristan to do it,
Rosalina is
then-
probably just. I think Rosalina's just like giggling in the background, and she's bent down to crack you and says, "This is going to be fun."
Yes, that's why I'm keeping quiet and just sitting back and watching. And I cradle my book in the satchel. Just watch.
I
I
just
don't really
have this
care.
bad feeling that something terrible will happen.
You worry too much. Everything will be fine.
You almost died fighting. Just it. Okay,
It'll be
you
fine.
do it, and I'll come with you and keep you safe.
Logo. It'll
I
be fine.
assumed you were all coming. I just wanted to be the one in charge.
Okay.
I
How
like
about-
it. It's settled. All right. When do
No,
we
I don't-
leave?
You'll have to determine who will be the noble, who will be the toll, who will be the croat, and anyone that does play the part of the croat will have to make sure that they sell it as well. You are servants.
I point to the. I lift my mask and just point to the fucking slave branding on the fucking
Yeah.
center of my
Oh
head.
wait, who else has the slave marker on the front?
Yeah.
There's two with that.
I just lift my bangs up and show my mark.
Ah,
Been a slave before, so
that will make things much easier, I think, to sell your roles as croat. And what of you, Galdric? And you, Rosalina? I don't have any slave brands, at least none that you can see. Or maybe later.
I haven't really developed this part of my character. So my character's background is I am a slave. His origin, he's a slave. Wait,
I think when we talked about the character during character creation was that you had escaped, I guess, before they branded you.
Yeah.
And your sacrifice that you made was for the secret of metal, which allowed you to escape your bindings. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
Hmm.
So, well, I mean, I don't have any markings on me as well, but I was a slave before I came here.
The markings aren't required. They are merely placed upon those that have been relegated to the most, well, I suppose the least desirable of jobs. Usually as punishment. She kind of like looks, and maybe you see like a hint of like sorrow in her eyes as she looks at you, Glenda and Crackuel.
I care not for it. It means nothing to me. Everyone looks at me like that, regardless of whether I've got the mask on or not. I'm a little fucking horrible thing.
All right. Well, Rosalina, which one do you want to be?
I think that if we are the way that we look, we'll have to play the role of the Croat. Nobody will believe that we are trolls, so we have to play some kind of role as Croat. Oh, Trist, I can be your concubine.
Could work. Could work. Yes.
My
Certainly
eyes light up.
A role that you could play. We'll figure out the details when we're on our way.
All right. So wait, does that make me the toll?
No, that makes me the toll.
Oh, I thought.
That was the whole point.
The troll and the noble are the same thing, Goldrick.
Oh, I never paid attention to that sort of thing. I just took my lashes and did my job.
Fair enough. So, decided then.
What
All right.
about Crackuel?
Slave.
What do you want from me?
I mean, what is your job going to be? What do you do for Trist?
Look at me. I'm a wretched little impish.
Do I have to?
Clearly, he is my own personal amusement. You know.
Jester.
Oh, Jester!
I was thinking scribe would be good for Caracules. Got that
Say
kind
something
of...
funny.
Also possible, I suppose.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange. The fruit. Haha. You thought it was going to be the color.
Never mind, you're right, Glenda. Scribe is better than Jester.
was
Not
quite
very
good. It
Punch
was
him
a-
in the head.
It was a little,
Wow.
twist. All jokes are supposed to have a good twist to them at the
You
end.
can absolutely try to punch him in the head if you want.
You'll kill me. Oh Jesus!
Do you have
I'll
brawling as a skill?
I do
proudly.
not have brawling though.
I think it's a
Yeah.
great joke, and I'm like really proud, and it's just fucking like it's like the Hulk Loki punch. Boom.
What's your melee defense, Crackuel?
Hey, 16.
Okay. Yeah, you probably flutter your wings maybe and jump out of the way from the punch. But it's a serious punch. Like Goldrick actually tries to punch you.
Please, Goldrick, what did we tell you about the manners in front of esteemed, excellent exaltancies?
You're the one who said that joke.
Well, it was. Well, perhaps yes. I shouldn't be a jester. Scribe, then I
Scribe.
suppose.
All right. Scribe it is.
I'll need some paper. Maybe a
I
couple
can
of books.
be your doctor, Trist.
Sure.
I
Why
don't
not?
think it's very likely that a Croat would have the skill to be a doctor.
That's a good point.
They're very Unlearned. Perhaps a scribe you might be able to pull off.
My job is easy. I'm just gonna be your muscle.
If you were both scribes, that would be a lot of writing things down. You're quite good at lots of things. Yes, Glenda? Many.
Well, I can.
You can be the cook.
A cook is much more believable.
I can be the cook and very good at cooking.
Yes, and of course we'll need supplies. I'll need some paper, parchment, and she'll need some food. We'll have to take all different types of food, I suppose, with us, won't we? So that we can make sure the cover is not
I
blown.
love this shit. Cracule just trying to like gouge the resistance for stuff.
Want more eggs, man. Those are some good omelets.
We'll try to supply whatever we can. Oh, please keep in mind that the entirety of this trip is to find more supplies and secure some sort of chain to enable us to receive more food in general. We can only give up a certain amount. I think you'll have to do your best to try and obtain whatever materials you can along the way. It is quite the trip to Thurgan, and you will be going through the forest along the way.
It'll be fine. We'll figure it out. Something always stumbles into our path, you know.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
usually
just so
you.
you guys know,
Yes, it's usual.
it's 90 miles to Thurgan.
Jesus,
Mhm.
good God alive.
Right, so we'll be leaving in the morning then.
That is another concern. If you leave during the day, then you will be more visible. Traveling through the grasslands, you won't have much cover. There aren't many trees there. There are a few hills, I suppose, but you'll be mostly open. If you leave during the night, you'll have a more easy time concealing yourselves. However, you also run the risk of running into creatures that also take advantage of this fact.
Oh, no. We will absolutely be moving by night. I made it all the way here by night, and I simply won't step outside in the daytime. I'm utterly useless.
I'm alright leaving at night.
Well, it won't be as fast, but fine.
When
Sure,
you
we
re-
can leave.
When you reach the woods, then, well, perhaps it will be easier to stay concealed. But until then, it will be rather difficult.
Well, that's what Trist's for. Send in the Trist. That's what we say.
Indeed. See, do I call you Your Highness from now on, just to get practicing, Your Highness? Your Excellency?
I feel like those titles may be a little above the title I should be going for.
Your Nobility? Your...
The proper title would probably be Lord or
Lord.
Lady.
Or the lady.
So in Trist's case, it would be Lady Trist.
Lady.
Or perhaps it is better if we do not use your real name.
Ooh,
Trist
fake
isn't my
name.
real name. Trist isn't my real name anyway.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm sure Cracule isn't mine either.
You'll notice on all the character sheets, it just says Trist in between quotation marks.
Yes.
Right, so what are we going to call you then? Lady...
Trist is fine.
I,
No one outside of this place has ever heard it, so.
Very well. If you wish to be Lady Trist, then that is fine.
Well, why not?
You need to discover your background. If you try to enter the city of Thurgan,
I'm assuming you have some sort of pre-planned idea about what this background is going to be, some sort of identity I can assume.
there are various tolls that live throughout the countryside that have
Lovely.
small pieces of land. Perhaps you can claim to be one of them. If we pick an area that isn't overly populated, I think it would be more believable.
Sounds reasonable. Do we know any of the names or families of these people?
I think that most of the people that live in Thurgan or the surrounding cities won't be very up to date on their geography. Perhaps it is best if we make some place up so that way that there is no confusion.
All right. Local place. Well, not local to here. That would be a dead giveaway, I think. But, small plots of land. It's not really a big deal as to exactly where.
Perhaps the lady of a village somewhere in the region?
Well, yes, between here and where we're going, of course.
Well, if we concern ourselves perhaps with the area controlled by the Eternal One, that could be as far south as Sakaron, as far east as Fort Kirillad, or as far north as Morgulath.
Well, the thing is, if we want to keep this cover, here's my thought. If we want to keep this cover while we are also on the road, in case we run into anyone, best to have a reason that I would be around here. Like, if I claimed to be from Fort Kirillad all the way over the other side of mountains, then there's the question of why I'm this far afield in this direction.
I think it's an even better idea if we don't claim that you're from any of those overly populated places. Perhaps a village no one has ever heard of, somewhere in the forest.
Ooh, like Frostwater.
Exactly.
Yes.
A small village, one that any sophisticated toll would never deem worthy or even worth visiting. As long as you have the title, that's all that matters.
Galdrick, it's a good thing you're up on your geography at least a little bit, because I have no idea where this place is that you're talking about, so you'll have to fill me in.
I made it up.
Oh,
Perfect.
good then.
Beyond that, it's just a matter of working on your appearance and your mannerisms.
My appearance, I say, being the clearly best dressed of everyone. A little ragged, but the best dressed, definitely.
You are dressed better, yes, but you must flaunt it and you must have fine clothing if you are to pass yourself off as a toll.
Do we have the resources for fine clothing? Or is this more of a gather it as you go kind of situation? Because I don't exactly have a pocket full of gold either.
Yeah, she looks at Demetrius. Demetrius says,
Unfortunately not. All of our other crews that are out currently trying to do any spying other work such as this have already taken any fashionable clothing with them.
Well, I'll figure something out.
Do we have any polish?
Polish.
Yes, like so I can make my armor nice and shiny. I don't really see much of a place for myself in this band unless I'm the muscle.
Don't worry. I just tap your armor, and I'll use my heal metal cantrip just to basically just buff away the scratches. It should be nice and
Are you
shiny.
fucking kidding me? I've had this whole time.
Well, you wanted to look after your own equipment. I did offer.
Never mind about the polish.
Well, next time you want it, just ask.
I think as you say this completely straight-faced, it's like gleam, 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 ping.
I'm like
Looks nice.
seething. I'm starting to turn red. Just
Looks really nice.
I'm like, I like walk over. I won't do anything, but I'll like tap the armor and say, "Don't worry, I can polish that up." you needed only ask.
You look like you're about to cast a spell and piss me off. What are you doing?
I'm not. I'm definitely not going to cast a spell
Okay.
because like just yesterday I told Demetrius I can't clean his doorway. I'm very aware of that, so I'm just like, don't worry, nudge nudge. Got you covered.
I
Old
hate
pal.
every single one of you. And I hate. So when do I
Of course,
leave?
it will come at a price. One of those
Yes,
lovely.
when
crescents, perhaps?
either tonight or tomorrow night, I suppose, as fast as possible, as quickly as we
Good whenever.
can.
I just took a wee bit of a nap, so I'm feeling good.
I've actually not had a long rest for a long time. I am rather tired. I don't know if anybody else has read a book for 8 hours straight on an empty stomach, but I wouldn't mind
Yeah,
a
I did that last night.
little shut eye.
Empty stomach. I'm pretty sure I made you dinner.
Oh yes,
breakfast
I mean,
rather.
I have an empty stomach now. I'm hungry and I need
We
to
should have said something before we left, and
I
I'd have made
offered
you
you a
something.
cookie.
Well, I thought that perhaps the Enclave were putting on a platter or
Is this
a
mask up or
buffet
down
or
right now? Mask up or down?
it's up. It's on the top of my head.
I take another cookie out of my bag and I just shove it like in your mouth. Like I try to force feed you like a grandma.
This is gonna fuck me up because my teeth are gonna fall out. I can't chew. I can't chew. All of my teeth are sharp, apart from like the random ones that are rocks, that are like the stones. I have like the fucking infinity stones in my mouth, don't I, for each of my secrets? So this is just it's like this will kill me. I'm like spitting it out into my hands into crumbs, looking over at Vadhana, just devastated at how much of a wretched mess I am in the corner with crumbs and cookie falling out of my mouth. Yes, well, if you would possibly next time you could hand me the food, and I could actually chew it. I have to crumble up a cookie. You understand? I much prefer soup.
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't know.
Yes. I knock on each of my teeth, the ones that I've placed in manually. Just check they're not falling out. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna sit and I'm bored now, so I'll just peck at the the crumbs while they carry on speaking or whatever.
Yes.
Yes,
so-
yes, we could stand around here in the Enclave's meeting room all day, but we have what we need now, yes?
I'd suggest tomorrow night we leave.
Well, we need a plan for what we're going to do in Turgan when we get there. Who we're going to speak to, or things like that. Didn't you say there was someone in there? Vidania, didn't you say Tammy or a noble there had some interesting things?
Samior and Denarath, not in
What's
Thurgan.
Denerat? But that's a bit further away.
Yes. We don't have any spies currently in Thurgan.
Mm.
You're going to have to make your own way in.
I'm gonna see. Can I roll my randoms to see if I have somebody in there?
Sure. So
There
I
are
don't know what
37
the number is.
total.
37. Okay. So yeah, roll me a D37.
So I have 2 of these available.
If you want to use both now, go for it.
Okay.
Huh?
34.
And 23.
But
Nope,
just so you
not
know
there.
what Vanalis is currently doing, guys. Venalis is
Rolling up
rolling
contacts,
randomly for
yeah.
contacts.
I have a bunch of empty contact slots as well that I could just be like, well, I know this person in X place that I'm
So I have one.
You guys have contacts for a reason. You can use them however you like.
cool.
I have one in Port Bagdrun on the top right island, and one in Makadar.
Okay.
Hmm.
I was hoping I
Well,
could shut. I could be like, you have contacts, but nope.
I actually might have someone that I know who resides in Thurgan. I say, waiting for somebody to further question that.
Of course you do. You're a toll.
I'm not sure how important they are within the whole system at this point in time, as they were sort of outside of that whole. I did a little raiding, a little sea affairs back in the day, river, that sort of thing, you know. And well, it was their boat that I was on their ship. Not sure if they're still in Thurgan, but they were last time I checked. My old pirate captain.
Does he have a name?
I'm trying to remember it.
Does he actually exist, or is it a figment of your wild imagination?
I'm trying to remember it. I say as if like he could just be some imaginary thing that I haven't even. Yeah.
I nudge Rosalina like 1 gold crescent. He doesn't exist.
The details will become clearer as I draw closer to Thurgan. I'm sure.
Rosalina like leans down and says, "I will bet 5 gold crescents that it is a doctor."
That's very specific. I feel like I'm going to take this bet back. You're quite aware this person's. Maybe I don't trust that you know
I feel
the
like that
information.
bet means that Rosalina has already heard about this person in some drunken rambling from
Yeah,
Tris.
I know that you two like fumble around drunkenly, so I'm like, Rosalina knows,
Yeah.
so I'm like, yeah, no, fine.
Totally, and you're totally right, Weck, as well. Like, he's a doctor or like some other thing. I was just rambling. I can't think of a name to like assign to this person right now. Names are the worst. But you know, if you have anything, feel free to do so.
Use a fantasy name generator.
I mean, I could, but I don't have one open right now.
Edward Teach.
One Piece and Blackbeard reference. Okay.
It doesn't matter. The name will come to me soon.
Sure. Well,
Go, chat.
Whatever you think is right, I suppose. What is most important that we must stress is that no matter what, if you are caught or tortured, you must not give out details on the resistance.
I mean, I don't plan to, certainly.
They all kind of look at each other, and Demetrius kind of nods towards Vadhana and says, "I can make sure."
What resistance?
You can make sure. How?
There is a spell that I am aware of that will allow me to make you forget if questioned.
If question.
I like flicker my wings, completely aware of what this is. Oh yes. This is very, very, very foolproof. It really does help with the. Oh wait, actually no. Can we not? I don't like it when.
But if we forget, then how will we know what to do?
It's only temporary.
No, but I mean, if we forget and then we go out to do this quest, the mission, find supplies, then I won't know why we're finding supplies.
No, I think it means that if you're interrogated, then it makes you forget before you answer. So the interrogation would trigger the spell. Is that right?
That is correct.
That's some very nice magic.
Sounds fine.
I don't like people fucking with my memory.
That is why I leave this up to you. This is your decision. We don't impose our will on the people of the Resistance.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't really be too worried about them interrogating me, but I'll certainly take the spell if that's what you need for reassurance. I would rather die than be interrogated.
Well, look at me. I already told you I don't like people fucking with my memory.
I would rather not have my memory affected.
I'm like full on triggered out because I've seen this fucking shit done a million times to people in the Inquisition or whatever. So I was like, no, yes, this is really not something that I'm perfectly able to shield my mind. Yeah, I'm very good at it. I've spent a long time training it for this in particular. I'm sure we'll be quite fine.
Demetrius says,
Very well. This is your decision. But should you meet a proctor, or worse, an infernus, even the most skilled among you may have trouble shielding your mind.
It's true, to be fair.
I think it'd be selfish of us to risk that.
I did actually prize the information of this place out of a resistance member a few years ago. Of course, it might actually be privy for us to do that.
I think we should all do it.
It does give us plausible deniability, at least. I mean, Trist probably always has that. Mind is quite split already. But the rest of us...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No. Don't worry, my dear.
I am perfectly within my capacities. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, Vadhana, then. I think we'll do it.
Best two, I think. Yes.
Just make sure you make it temporary. I've seen one too many people walk away without any memory at all.
I'm not exactly an expert in the use of most magics, but in this I am quite skilled.
Right then, who wants to go first? Trist?
Why not?
That was good. Rosalina leans down to you.
I do a horrible, wretched little wink. My tiny little eyes.
We'll see if her eyes start to glow or anything.
Yes, if she doesn't remember anything, then we know that we need to just forego this particular spell.
Good idea.
And Trist walked forward with a flourish, I guess, as always. I think we could just...
Yes.
That should even be like your hook thing at the top of your character, just as with a flourish. Trist is a Grand Elf Musketeer with a flourish. Okay, so Trist walks forward, and Vadhana, you can see her kind of raise her arms forward, and she looks like she's motioning for your head.
Yes, of course. I'd take my hat off, and get into reach of her touching my head.
Do your best to clear your mind.
Done.
She starts to just whisper these words over the course of the next few minutes. And this goes on for about 10 minutes or so. And you feel this sort of... It almost feels like a very small rope is kind of tied across your forehead and across the back of your head. Just very lightly tied. Sort of feels like something like that.
Okay.
And then she says, "It is done. Who is next?"
Good. Seems fine. Still in control of everything. No memories lost. I remember everything.
Am I able to discern anything from that? Like, does it look like that was pulled off?
Give me a
And
magic check, plus if you have... let's see what skill it is.
compulsion?
I think that's the one that we forget was.
She's doing a version of like erase, right?
Yeah, so yeah, that's a compulsion. Yeah, so compulsion plus magic. Or it could be logic plus
Dude. Oh wait, that says my magic is 3. Is that correct? Wait.
is
Oh,
that
yeah,
the
it is.
level that your magic dice pool is?
It is. Yeah, I'm dumb as shit.
Yeah. So
I
you're
just
getting
rolled
a 3.
I rolled
You
3
rolled
ones.
3 ones, by the way. If there was a critical fail, that's the equivalent.
There goes my luck. After I
So
used it.
yeah, a 6 on a 46 is pretty awful. And you don't really know how the fuck she did what she did. It's a different version than what you saw from your past, I guess, experience with these kinds of spells. You do know that there are versions of these spells that are extremely invasive and very, very aggressive. And she seems, the only thing I think you are able to get from it is that she seems to be very elegant in the way that she accomplishes what she does.
Yeah, I'll like lean into Rosalina and like maybe while the spell is going on, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is a very interesting technique. My last master used to use a technique, very similar spell, but he would place metal rods just inside the eyes, push them up into the brain, cause some sort of then cast the spell.
The many proctor techniques.
Yes, he called
I
it a
don't
low
like any of this.
blow.
I don't like none of this messing around in their heads. I told you many times.
I must say, Your Excellency, I was rather more scared of the metal rods in the eyes. I'll go next. I step forward.
Okay. Does anybody sort of resist this process? Galdrick, are you just not doing it? You're muted.
I have my arms crossed the whole time, and I'm just like, I already said I don't like people fucking with me, man.
Okay. I have to make a decision for Wish, so I'm just going to roll for it. I'm going to roll just a regular d6. 1 to 3, she does not do it. 4 to 6, she does.
Wish just became
6.
Luke Reinhardt.
So I just got a 6. Of course I rolled a 6. I mean, that's what I do. Yeah. Everybody except Galdrick gets this done to them. And why don't we go ahead and take our next break there? Why don't we take another break? We'll be right back, everybody, for more of Table Stories, the Nameless Ones, in just a few minutes. Just hang tight. Make sure you follow all these wonderful people if you haven't done so already. We'll be right back.
Yes, bitch. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's your boy Whack. I just wanted to quickly mention the fan art thing because it was kind of cool. I wanted to throw it up on the screen. Some peoples have been drawing some fan arts on the Tablestory Discord. So you can go to the Tablestory Discord. We've got all sorts of information there for the other shows, as well as this one. But in the Nameless ones, a couple people threw up some fan arts, and one of them was like really cool. So I thought I'd just show you it real quick. Let me bring that up on the screen.
Some fan art.
It's kind of hard to see a little bit, but somebody drew Crackure reading the book. You can go and see like the full thing in the Discord, and it's really cool. And if you want to draw stuff,
cool.
I like seeing stuff. Don't pressure yourself or freak yourself out and break your back. But if you want to doodle things, it doesn't have to be awesome like this. I just thought this was particularly standout. If you want to doodle things, then you can join the Tablestory Discord and throw that up there as well. Thanks for that one. That was Zapdos. That was a particular. What was his name?
Zapdos is a Pokemon, Brad.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know.
Zapdos?
Nerval. That's who it was. Nerval. So I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, you almost got it, Brad.
We had this conversation before where I was saying I'm pretty good at remembering things that I need to do, but as soon as it's happened, I've forgotten everything. I'm bad at recalling information. I'm good at remembering things I need to do.
Workaround. What you need to do is remember things.
Anyway, back
So
to the
what
show.
Brad is saying is we love fan art, and thanks everybody that's been working on fan art. Maybe we'll find a better way to sort of showcase that, possibly on the breaks and whatnot as time moves on. And that's something we can force upon Brad. Yay!
I've done it before. I did it for one of my other
More
shows
work for Brad.
where I had
Awesome.
like a thing that came up with all the pictures, which is pretty fun. So I don't mind doing that. Yeah, if we get enough fan art, I'll just combine them as well from all the Tablestory shows. So we just have a fucking Flickr show in all the breaks, which could be fun.
Awesome.
I love a good Flickr show.
Flickr show.
Awesome. So, welcome back, everybody. So, Vadhana sort of goes around and casts this spell on all of you. You basically feel the same. You just all just have this sort of weird, feels like there's an invisible rope sort of tied around your head. And just provides like the barest hint of pressure around your head. She says, "It's done." And this took some time. This took close to an hour or so for her to do all this. And she says, "Once someone tries to force out information from your mind, the spell will release."
Goldrick, are you sure you don't want to do it?
I don't need it.
Are you sure you don't need it?
I'm sure.
But if you're wrong, you put the entire resistance at risk.
No, I don't.
The whole thing. Everything. All of humanity's hope.
I'll be fine.
Goldrick. Why didn't you just do it?
I cross my arms and I'm very stubborn.
Okay, then that's fine, but guess who's having to cook their own meals from now on? If you're going to be selfish, then you can look after yourself.
All right.
I think he called you a bluff.
It's not a bluff.
I take a cookie out of my pack.
You
let's
say
take a
cookie,
look.
do you mean like a dried mushroom cap? Like, is that what we're calling cookies?
That's what's a cookie is.
With like maybe a bit of honey in it?
Yeah. Do you have rations?
Do I? I should. I bought some.
I don't think you do.
I'm taking spare cookies that are made of air. I'm putting them in my mouth.
Imaginary cookies. Yeah, because I don't see any rations on your sheet, man.
I thought I bought some. I'll stop by the store.
Okay. So Demetrius says,
Oh, very well. If you'll be leaving, when exactly?
Probably tomorrow night. Going tonight would be a little bit short notice, I think, but tomorrow night? Tomorrow
Very
night.
well. Give yourself a chance to prepare. And see if we can scrounge anything up that can help. I'll speak with Kenner and see if we can find anything.
That would be most helpful. Yes.
All right. Good evening. And thank you for your help.
Thank you, Demetrius.
Yes, thank you, Your Excellencies. And I'll let you know if I find anything out about the book, but I'm quite sure it's just an old tome.
Barbena sort of sneaks her way over to you, Galdrick, and she says,
That was good. Don't ever let anyone mess with your mind.
It'll
Just make sure if you ever see an infernus, you run.
I'll run as fast as I can.
All right, good luck.
she sort of claps you on the shoulder.
I look at Trist and I say, "My lady."
Yes, I could get used to that, certainly. Well, get about your preparations then. Tonight, sleep well, or tomorrow, sleep well, and gather anything that you need, and we'll meet and organize for departing. If you don't have a tent or, something to sleep on, you should probably think about that, maybe. Just while we're getting there.
I've left.
I'm still like curtsied over, like.
Yes, okay. We're done with that now. Thank you. I leave.
Why is leaving so funny?
Chris, for some reason, you all walk like idiots. Like everybody's got some kind of weird walking thing. Glenda's the only one I think that walks kind of normally. Maybe Rosalina.
Trist walks normally.
Just with a.
She just has a little bit of a
I
cape.
feel like Rosalina walks like Bayonetta. You know what I mean? Like a total catwalk walk all the time.
I've just got the Dracula cape swoosh move on all of my turns. That's it.
I only walk like an idiot because I keep trying to keep up with Trist.
Okay. All right. So you guys are heading out. Are you trying to do anything in the next day or so? Is there a goal, or what does your night look like here?
I actually probably would rest to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that I'd want to read the book more, but I also am aware of how bullshit traveling is on my tiny body. So I'll probably actually try and be in some level of physical strength and rest for the evening.
Head over to the store actually.
And
Okay.
then, I think we
So
should
there
buy
is
up
no
some
store,
stuff.
but there is a trader.
Okay.
And the trader. Let's go back to this map. Yeah. So there is a trader that comes through town. And there are some like merchants and stuff that like this sort of demon controlled world is rife with corruption and things, right? So there's merchants that grease some wheels that just kind of make their way around because they're useful, and they bribe people and they kind of just do what they have to do to get around, right? And I think that the trader that comes into town is one of those people for sure. There's this shop that's kind of set up with I guess some very rudimentary kind of signs that are written, just scrawled some charcoal maybe on some wood outside. and says just goods for trade on the sign. Outside, there's what looks to be like a wheelbarrow that's empty, and there's lights on. I'd say there's one light on. It's very dim.
Am I there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Do you knock on the door?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear like a
Yes?
Um,
Who's there?
it's Goldrack. I'm looking to purchase some goods.
It's a bit late.
Yes, I understand.
You have coin?
I take my coin purse and I just jiggle it.
All right.
you hear something that sounds like a latch, like one of those thick boards, like just kind of like taken off from the door on the inside. Put next to the door. You hear "Ee." Inside you see a what looks to be an older halfling, not halfling, a small folk, and they have this sort of very scraggly looking chin beard that's a bit askew and uneven, coming down from their chin. Very white hair and wrinkled. They have a sort of very pointy looking nose. If you've ever seen a series of unfortunate events, that sort of Count Olaf kind of look, they have that kind of nose and that kind of chin, very angular kind of face. But instead of sort of the Wolverine-like hair, their hair is sort of slicked back. It's gray and white, just kind of slicked backwards. They have some very round and small glasses sort of sitting on the end of their nose. And they're looking up towards you.
Hello?
Sorry to bother you so late. I'm looking to procure a few things, like some travel rations.
Well, come on in. Come on in.
All right. Travel rations? I need some.
Just put your things down there.
Kind of walk in and turn around. They do that old people thing where they just, don't really pay attention to you and just, and they walk in. Inside, there's a hoarder's wet dream. There's just stuff stacked up in all different kinds of ways. It's just stacks of crap like everywhere. It's just so much useless garbage in here. It's all unorganized and it just looks like a junkyard.
Oh, maybe I went to the wrong place.
Came to the right place. Come on in. You
Oh,
want
oh.
some water?
No, I appreciate it, but no. Do you have?
He walks
travel?
back over. He's got 2 cups of water. He just shoves one in your hand.
Do you?
Drink up, drink up.
I drink it.
Isn't that better?
Much better. All right. Do you? I'm kind of like saying it slowly, like waiting for him to interrupt me. Have travel?
Let's speak up. I don't have all day.
Do you have travel rations?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course I do. What do you think this is?
How much and where are they?
Up there. My cat is in a weird spot right now. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're stuck there. I'm not getting you down.
What?
That's still in line with what the hell you mean? What the hell are you doing with the cat? I just see the cat on top of the hoarder thing.
Yeah, there's a cat that just kind of knocks over a pile of crap in the background.
All right, where is it?
It's over there somewhere.
Ah, Jesus Christ. All right. I'm just going to like go over there and just like start like digging through a mountain of trash to like look for these things, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess the way that the food rations would work, it's probably like bundles wrapped in some brown paper or something of dried meats and things. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Don't knock that. Okay. All right. Let me actually
Having some cat troubles there,
Yeah.
Whack. Yeah.
I think I went to the vet yesterday to go, or not the vet, the pound to go pick up a cat yesterday.
She's a lunatic. She never does that. She almost knocked over the TV.
I didn't even know you had a cat until this moment because of
Me
this.
neither. I was unaware.
I've also never seen Whack break character to go, oh my god, the thing is there. So that was a big moment.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so perception check. Let me see. 13 out of 46. You start rifling through this stuff. There is kind of like a, I guess like a few old shoes that you kind of push out of the way. There's like a basket that's just full of random sort of junk. And sorry, I'm just making sure she doesn't knock anything over. She never does this. And it's just a random assortment of crap. It's nothing interesting at all. There's some bottles and stuff that sort of clink to the ground. And eventually you find this sort of wrapped brown paper package. It's tied with a piece of yarn.
That's it there, yes.
All right. This is very well organized. How is there more than one, or do I pick up like a whole pile? Do I pick up one? Do I?
There are 6 rations there.
Jeez. Do you have any more? We have to travel a very long distance in a few hours.
Well, that's all I had. I gave everything else to the resistance. It's a part of the payment to be entering the town.
All right. How much?
Let's find out, because there is actually a foodstuff section. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is 3 gold each.
Can I appraise it? I have appraisal. And try to barter with them.
Sure. You can appraisal plus your, what did you roll for your appraisal? Logic. Yeah, I guess it'd be close. 14. Yeah, I mean that seems like a pretty common price.
God. All right. You said 3 gold a piece, and there you said there's 6.
Yep.
Ah, God. All right.
Food ain't cheap.
Apparently not. All right. Fine. Here you go. I give him 18. I'll take the 6.
Good doing business with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Is there anything
Like
else?
takes the coins and just the crescents rather and just test them.
Is there anything else here that's edible that I could take on the road?
Kind of glances over at the cat.
No, never mind. I'm leaving. Good day.
And the door closed. I did have the... Okay.
Can we all assume that we do something similar and just deduct the money and take some food, or did you buy loads of food?
So in actuality, that is the last of the food that the trader has.
Oh, okay.
I
I
mean,
was
they said
kind
they
of
were
just going to
I'm
leave it
just
to
leaving-
Glenda
I'm
anyway.
just- I'm just leaving food up to-
as much as they could. I just want to make sure Glenda doesn't try to stiff me on food when we're out in the wild.
Yeah, I kind of just assumed that like every night forever, Glenda will cook me dinner. Like I just assume that the way that you do with an actual mother, you're just like, yeah, give me that dinner quick. Yeah. In return, I every now and then press the digitation like her whole house.
Afterwards, I'll make my way back to my place and sit on my barrel and just wait.
I spend the rest of the night patrolling around, talking to the various watchmen I run into, and going up to the watchtowers and stuff, and being like, "I'm not going to be here for the next, little while, so you'll have to take care of all of this yourself," as if I'm like somehow in charge.
Some kind of captain, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So that's my night, followed by a whole day of like sleeping.
So it's essentially Trist's like completely ambivalent to all of the looks that she gets.
Oh yeah.
Based on this, this kind of immediate this kind of like immediate reaction that everybody has, probably one that you're used to, but you don't really care. Okay. All right. So nobody else is trying to accomplish anything this evening, major tasks or anything beyond that?
I would like to speak with Galdrick.
Okay. So he lives pretty close. So are you just doing the mom thing where you just kind of peeking out the window?
Yeah, I'm definitely I keep peeking out my door. Like,
yeah. Okay. You see Galdrick sort of, he's got like a few parcels, these brown parcels tied with yarn.
Hello, Galdrick. Would you like to come in for a cup of tea?
Do I have to make it myself?
No, I'll make you the tea.
Sure.
Okay, in you come then. You come in, the tea's already on the table.
After I sit down, I want to kind of like start putting, I do have a backpack, and I want to start putting the rations inside the backpack.
Okay.
So, about at the Enclave.
Yes.
Surely you understand the risks involved.
Of course.
Then I don't understand why you made the decision you did.
I don't like people fucking with my mind.
Right. And me neither, but even less so, I dislike the idea of, the good folk of the world being wiped out entirely.
They won't be.
Because you believe your mind's stronger than the demons.
Depends on the demon, I suppose.
Right, that's my point. Like, I could say for certain that most likely there are demons out there who would slice through your mind like a hot knife through butter. I think given a good shot, Cracul could do it.
I take a little bit of offense to that, but all right.
So, will you reconsider?
No.
You're gonna have to explain. I don't understand. Listen, it'll stay between us.
I take another sip of the tea. This is excellent tea you've got here.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm all out of coffee, all right? So I can't do that. All right. So you were a slave. I was also a slave. No matter where we were from, and well, the slaves who misbehaved and got out of line had their heads fucked with by demons.
Right.
and I've seen too many of my friends go mad from magic of the mind.
Right.
I refuse to let anyone ever fuck with my mind.
Okay, what if I told you that I've had my mind
Fuck
messed with? No,
with?
messed with.
All right.
And I still made a decision to protect everyone else over myself. Would you die for the resistance?
Of course I would.
Then surely your mind's less than dead. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's less valuable than your life.
I'd rather die. Yes, I'd rather die than go mad.
Right. So we should go back and instead of Vadhana making you forget some things, if they try to invade your mind, it just kills you.
Sure.
Right. Problem solved then. Enjoy your tea.
All right. We done with this conversation, Mom?
Do you know what, Goldrick?
Great. I finished taking a sip. I politely put my teacup down. I'll be waiting to leave. And I exit the building. I politely close the door. I open the door. Thank you for the tea.
Mom's stare boring into the back of your head. That evil eye, you could feel the pressure.
You're welcome, Goldrick. And I'll just sit and finish my tea and contemplate the Goldrick dilemma.
Okay. So, you guys are going to essentially wait until the following evening to get yourselves ready. You gather your belongings, get yourself together, and I guess how did you sort of plan a meetup?
The same way we always meet up, Pinky. Go to Glenda's and leave it to Glenda. Just leave it to Glenda. Glenda will do it.
Yeah, in the evening we meet up at Glenda's place.
Just everyone waits for sunset and Glenda will...
It's the
You
plan.
guys just wait for the smell of cooked food as
Yeah.
the bat signal.
At some point, Glenda will smell
Glenda-
the food.
Glenda, what do you...
I will no longer be able to taste Glenda's food.
Rip.
Mhm.
Glenda, what are you making to signal the troops?
So this time I'm making a little bit of extra effort. And I'm making some mushroom caps, but stuffed with an omelet this time. So it's like the reverse. It's like an omelet in a mushroom cap with some veggies and stuff.
Nice.
So I make that.
I would eat that. Yes, very much so, and I do.
Okay.
I make one for Goldrick as well. Okay, fuck.
Because rule number one is you don't let the kids go hungry.
Yeah, everyone has to eat.
Yeah. Except if it was dad would leave. My dad did this to me. I didn't want to eat something for dinner once, and my dad left it there on the kitchen table until I ate it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Even though it was super cold. I think it was ham or something. I don't even know why I didn't want to eat it.
I don't even know why I didn't want to eat it.
It was just random protesting. Okay. So, yeah, you guys could smell the food and immediately sort of gather at Glenda's. Glenda, what does it look like inside your place while you've prepared all this stuff for everyone? What's the scene look like here?
The table's all set and ready, and I'm just scooting about the fire a little bit, and with my stuff, and my bag's packed, my bed's made, of course. It's very neat looking for
A pile of straw.
bed. Yeah.
Somehow you've organized all the straw into straight
Yep.
rectangle box-like lines.
Yep. Yeah, and I got my bag by the door, and yeah.
Okay.
It looks
I
like
arrived-
the closest thing to home they've seen probably.
I arrive looking like I slept in exactly the clothes that I woke up in, as is usually the case, and I have like a little satchel over my shoulder that you assume is everything else that I own.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Rosalina sort of strolls in and says, "Is this where the party is?"
Yes, dinner's almost ready. I'm just waiting for it to finish up.
She just kind of leans back on whatever chair you have, sort of kicks up her legs a little bit.
Feet
Just
off
does-
the table.
Fine, Mom.
Right. Here's your food, everyone. I'll bring it out and I'll put it out for everyone.
Can I be a little shocked that there's a serving for me? Like,
Yeah. And it doesn't look like I've stuffed you or anything. It's the same as everyone else. It's there, and it's this good.
Yeah, we need a cooking plus. I guess it'd be
Used logic last time.
yeah.
I got it locked into that. Okay, any sixes? I got one
It is.
six. I
Got
get
one
another
six.
one.
So an exploding.
I got
Another-
19 this time on the kicking.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh yeah, this smells really good, guys. It smells really good. Rosalina just kind of immediately starts chowing down.
I probably before I bring Krakules over, I'll cut it up for him because apparently he needs that. Like he said with the cookie. So before I bring it over, I'll cut it up in little bits and give him bite-sized bits of mushroom
Yeah.
omelet mushroom, whatever way it is round now.
All of my teeth are incisors. They're just all
Yeah.
like the little sharp ones. And a lot of them are missing and replaced
Yeah.
with things that I can't really chew on. So, I like
Right.
lift the mask and I'll give you a look. And just
Tuck in.
Imperceptible nod. And I'll eat.
Once we get our dinner down, we'll head to the Enclave, see if we can get any supplies, and then we'll head out on our long journey.
Do we have enough things to sleep with and keep warm and the such? When I traveled here, I traveled with a single robe.
Really?
It was a rather long journey. I stuck to the shadows mostly, hiding.
Right, well, I've only got my own bedroll and blanket.
you can snuggle with me if you'd like.
I wonder if there's somebody that sells these things.
We might be able to convince the Enclave to get us a couple from the storehouse.
It's just that I don't want to have to
You know, it's
snuggle with
necessary
Goldrick.
equipment.
Goldrick, you don't want me to sleep in the same thing as you. I tend to kick and flutter.
I could just put my arms around you and hold you nice and tight.
Yes, but I also sometimes tend to put nightmares in people's brains while they
We
sleep.
should get you your own bedroll.
Okay, can we get a show of hands? Who has their own bedroll and blanket?
Rosalina just kind of raises her hand.
Oh, you're all quite prepared. Yes, I'm not one for traveling, really. I've never been out of the city bar the one time, and that was just to travel here. And once I got here, I was quite settled. Of course, I always assumed that if they needed my help, they would bring the people to me. I wouldn't have to go to the area and continue to capture people, throwing sacks
Okay,
over heads and
Cracker,
dragging
we
them
get-
down alleyways.
We understand.
really
It's
quite-
okay. You can...
Task.
Right. So we just need one. I don't think that's too much of an ask. So they should do that for us.
They haven't helped us with very much
They
otherwise.
really haven't
but we
provided very
can-
much.
We can try.
I'll put on my best smile and ask nicely.
Hmm.
That'll probably work.
I can pull out the boob.
It's extremely
I
effective.
don't think you'll do it.
That'll also probably work.
No, let's keep ourselves decent.
Uh,
That's never worked.
She just
Alright.
kind of does. She does this, and she says, "Mine are pretty decent."
Let's just keep them in your clothes, okay?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
You behave yourself.
I didn't say anything. My lady, should we go?
Eyes up here, little man.
Yes, if
I'm-
everybody is ready, then we should be
I'm
on our way.
curtsying for Triss to go, but I'm still staring at the boobs.
I put a hand out to try and like intercept your line of vision a little bit.
So, are we prepared?
Well, Chink is prepared as we're going to be.
Well, then let's go and see the Enclave, get the things that they have gathered up, because they said they would gather some things for us if they could. And anything that they have, we will take, and then we will be on our way.
All right, let me just do the dishes.
Time is of the essence.
Yes, time is quite of the essence. How about you leave it to me this one time? I'll do it. That was a rather nice dinner that you put on. I'll go
Oh, that's
over.
very nice of you, Crackle. Thank you.
I'll go and fill the whole area with like the sink with just ink. Is the way I cast prestidigitation is just like it's covered with this ink, and then it looks like the worst possible, like throwing oil over it and it would never clean, and then like it drains away and it's clean and sparkling, and then I'll like head over to where Goldrick is sitting as well, and I'll say, don't move too much, don't flinch either. This is just sit still, and I'm gonna reach up as high as I can. I'm like 2'5", but you're probably sitting, and I'm just gonna do the same thing over your armor, because I can polish armor as well with prestidigitation. Well, I can polish silverware and stuff, so I assume I can polish armor. So I'll do the same thing, and I'll just make it as clean and shiny, and make him smell nice secretly as well while I'm there, since I'm doing it. Make him smell very nice instead of like bits of food. Clean all the food out of his beard, the years of congealed food that have been building up in there.
Alright.
This is gonna be like when I clean my dog and he hates his new smell because he likes his wretched rat smell that he gets.
So you just compared me to a wretched rat?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Right.
You called me a
Thank you.
praying mantis in real life earlier on.
While this ink is flowing down, I kind of want to just continuously be like...
Yes. Don't breathe it in. Absolutely, do not breathe it in. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Don't take. Just hold your breath. Hold your breath. Do not get this on your tongue. You do not want your tongue to be polished. Right. Okay. All right. I'm not doing that again. I step away from him. Just feel dirty.
Right, everyone grab your bags. And I grab my bag and then also grab the broom. And then I start sweeping round the table and sweeping behind them as they head towards the door. And then set it by the door and head on outside myself.
Okay. You close up everything, and you guys head to, I guess, the Enclave. Is that
Yeah.
Okay.
They said they'd gather some supplies for us if they could, so.
Okay. So outside the Enclave, you could see Demetrius and Vadhana, as well as Kenner. Kenner has, I guess, like the equivalent of a sack, probably some kind of canvas sack. Demetrius says,
There they are. Well, it is good to see that they have followed through. I told you shouldn't worry. They'll be dependable.
What, did you expect us not to be here?
I expected that there would be an interest, but I have to admit, I was a bit skeptical that everything would work out the way that it did.
Yes, well, do you have anything for us before we leave? Or should we be on our way?
Like a bedroll?
Yes, I need a bedroll. I mean, Your Excellency, if you wouldn't mind. Glenda?
Yeah, so just before we go, we need just a little bit of extra equipment.
So
We need one more bedroll and blanket because
Just a small one,
Precure's-
of course. I'm only.
it's just a small one.
Alrighty.
Please, if you would. Thank you.
So Kenner says,
All right, let's look and see what I've got. All right, I've got a bedroll and a blanket. That's no problem. But we don't have a lot of food or nothing. I have
the equivalent of 2 rations from Kenner, and says,
you have to understand, if you're going out into the forest, you're going to have to try and find your own kind of food. We're a bit skint on that. The Stow Elm Timberland there that you'll be entering is, they've got plenty of food. Be sure if you can to bring back whatever possible. And be most appreciative. But here's a bedroll, here's a blanket, and here's 2 rations. And we've got a few golden crescents you can use for bartering. But honestly, we don't have a lot that you can use to help anymore. I'm afraid that you'll have to find your own way of trying to barter or coerce.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm not hugely concerned.
I help strap the bedroll and blanket onto Crackul's bag.
I fall over under the weight.
Crackle, can you try and stand up properly,
Well,
please?
the thing is, you have to understand, this book is rather heavy, and I've got the satchel. And I just pull a big, thick set of manacles out and just kind of shake them around. These are rather heavy as well. Now, I am rather. If you look at my legs probably don't even look like they've got muscles in them. They like little bowed chicken legs. And it's just that I might need some help, perhaps.
Right.
With,
Just give me the bedroll. I'll carry it for him. Just
Okay. Right.
thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll
Godric.
put it on. I like pull it off you, and then I'll just strap it underneath yours. I stick it on the
Yeah,
back
now
and strap it
I'll
in.
make sure your armor is all nice and shiny. How about that? You like my squire?
Well, surely you're like his squire if you're
Yeah,
the one
sure,
polishing the
sure,
armor.
sure.
Shush.
I just give you this squint eye, like.
Yes.
Are we
Yes. Well,
Milady, are we leaving yet?
Right,
we
we're
are,
leaving.
we are. Yes, we are indeed. It's time to go.
Right.
Well, good luck to you. If we don't see you again, then
Then you'll know that we died, or something worse. Come on, everyone.
Very good.
good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Danya says, yes, may the blessings of whichever god you worship watch over you.
Not very many blessings, then. I say, like, just on my exit here.
Okay. So you guys are going to try and find the closest way up to, I guess, the surface. It is nighttime. It's dark, so you're probably going to have to carry some torches if you don't have night vision to make your way.
There's only one of us that doesn't have it, right? It's just Trist.
Trist, I think.
I don't have it either.
And Chris doesn't see in the dark.
Yeah.
So
So
I've got a lamp.
one thing I
I'd get
forgot
my
to
lamp
cover. One thing I forgot to cover is rest and the way that rest works in this game. So there's basically rolls that get made, and we didn't do those. But unlike D&D, where you just get everything refreshed completely, you have to make some rolls to see what gets refreshed. I think it's just a straight up endurance dice pool for health, and I think your magic just gets refreshed. but that's like a once per day kind of thing.
Yeah, once per day you spend an hour to regain your MP.
And that can just be like after rest or whatever.
Once per day, a character may spend 1 hour to recover health. Remember, recovered is equal to 1 roll of your endurance dice pool.
Yeah, so if you guys were down health, if you weren't healed, you can roll your endurance dice pool because it's been you've had time to rest.
Did I take any damage?
I don't think you did. I know Triss did.
Yeah, I don't think a single thing touched
Yeah, I've definitely taken enough rest over the course of how many do I just get to roll my endurance die and see
Yeah,
how
your
much I get
endurance
back?
dice pool. Yep.
Sure,
I get all my MP back, right?
I'm good.
You get all your MP back. Yes.
And your luck pool refreshes.
I
I'm
don't
good.
know how to actually reduce.
If you rest the hour, but yeah. I think it's just assumed when you sleep you're doing that. Or when you wake up, whatever.
Okie doke. Alrighty. So you guys make your way up some. It's sort of not really stairs, but sort of cobbled together stairs. It's a small path that's kind of difficult to get to and see. That leads its way up through ruins on the surface. They're essentially just kind of broken down. What looks like they're what looks like sort of a city that's essentially fallen into a sort of crevasse, right? Like there's some stone edifices that are still sort of up top. They're maybe overgrown with some moss and things, maybe a few vines and whatnot. But you make your way out of these ruins into the night. And I think we'll end the session there a little
Okay.
early. And we'll call it a day there.
Can I do one thing?
Sure. What's that?
While we're walking along, or maybe once when we take like our first like 1 minute of standing around, Goldrich stretching his legs and whatever, I want to sit and summon a little shadow mouse as a cantrip. My cantrip is that I can summon a tiny harmless creature, and I want to just give that a little test and then create, like do the same thing where I drop the inky smoke, but it forms into a little creature, and then I just send it off and give it a little wave.
Hey Brad, did you know that I have the Secret of Shadow as well? And also the Transform skill? I'm just saying.
We can do the chrono trigger.
Shad bros.
I'll summon a little shadow rat and you transform it into a fucking were-rat companion.
Okay. Awesome. So, Galdrick, give me a perception check. Okay. It looks like one of the shadows near your feet kind of moves.
I don't know if that would startle me or not. Because I know we're still in kind of safe territory, right?
Yeah, and you have dark vision, so I think your dark vision's probably looks like a dog's vision, maybe like black and white, sort of shades of gray, kind of in the night.
I'll just kind of look down and just be like, what the hell? I'll try to pick it up. Try to pick it up. Does it look... Because it's just... Does it have any, like... Does it look like a solid, or does it have, like, wispy smoke coming off it or anything like that?
It looks like it's part of the sort of surrounding shadows, but it's moving like erratically, like almost something that's being lit by like a flickering candlelight almost, you know, and it's kind of moving about. As soon as you bend down to try to grab it, it just kind of like moves away from you.
Can I like do a logic see if I can put 2 and 2 together?
Sure.
Did anybody see that?
No.
What?
Everyone just kind of look. What are you talking about?
There was like a little thing that was going...
Oh, it's something messing with your mind there, Galdrick.
Right. About 8.
All right, and yeah, let's end the session there. Let's go around the room and let's do some shout outs to finish things off. Let's start with Zagoticus.
AKA Mom.
Hey dudes, I'm Scoticus.
Mama
I'm
kiss.
just helping people.
Mama kiss.
Okay, we're good. Hi, I'm Scoticus. I like to help people, and if you want to call me Mom, do you know what? I'm fine with it. Do you know what? I love you. I love you all. You're wonderful people. Thank you for playing with me, DMing me, and watching and interacting in the chat. It's great. If you want to hang out with me more, Scoticus everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, the whole shebang. I started streaming Assassin's Creed Black Flag, so I'll be doing that until I finish it, which I think I have no idea how long those games are. So, however long that is.
1,000 hours.
If you want to see more tabletop roleplay with me, then I'm over on Wax Stevens channels on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays, the future version of this system in space, and Sundays is D&D 5e. It's Wax homebrew campaign setting. It's awesome, and I hope you will watch more roleplay and enjoy it. I love you all, and I'll see you very soon.
Thank you. As we mentioned earlier, Wish has not been here tonight. Go follow Wish. Nameless.
Hi, I'm Van. I'm Vanilus. You can follow me twitch.tv/Vanilus. I play a lot of random shenanigans, and I'm getting into. Well, I'm not getting into, but I'm going to re-dive into some GTA RP. I'm going to be bringing back Bishop Kane, and we're going to have some fun and start practicing some law. Having some fun. We got to pass that bar and hopefully defend the innocent or the guilty. Can't ever choose.
Okay, fair enough. Distracted Elf.
Hi, I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/Distracted Elf or on or at Distracted Elf on Twitter, where I do streaming things and tweet things as is descripted by the places you would find me. Cool.
Brad.
Yo, what up, fams? Thanks for playing, players. Thanks for DMing, DMer. And thanks for watching, watchers. Yeah, you can catch the full playlist of this on the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Tablestory. We've got a bunch of other shows on there as well. Pretty much every show that we've run for the last couple of years. You can follow us on the Discord, which I recommend as well for like updates and info. Same for the Tablestory Twitter, which is @atablestory. What have we got this week? I can't remember what the hell's going on with all the... I'll let you do your own whack, but I've got Dustveil coming back on Wednesday after the PAX break, where hopefully they'll finish this thing that I created as a one-shot. It's a D&D show. I created a one-episode thing, which was just a murder mystery, and it's taken them 3 episodes so far to work out. Don't know if that makes it really me as a bad DM or them as bad investigators, but it doesn't matter. It's fun. So yeah, if you want some more D&D stuff, head back over here, same time as this, on Wednesday, and this will be back next week, next Monday, with everybody to continue our adventure as we head outside, which is terrifying. Thanks for watching, everybody. Whack, you do all your shows. You got loads of shows.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Wax Steven. I am the GM of Doom. I will be dragging these guys kicking and screaming through an adventure next week. We're ending things a little early today. Wish is not with us, and I think it's kind of a good time for her to come back when everybody heads out, so I wanted to end things there. And thank you, as always, chat. Thank you so much for participating. We love you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for the fan art. Thank you for hanging out with us, and thank you for being interested in our shenanigans. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Distracted Elf. Thank you, Vanilus. Thank you, Zagonicus, for being awesome role players. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I hope to see everybody here next week for us to continue this wonderful campaign. And as for my shows, Friday over on Brotato's channel, we got Neon Screams, Cyberpunk, The Sprawl. It's a lot of fun. It's good shit. And Saturdays, there is Warped, which is a space opera sci-fi version of this system. And on Sundays, we got the 7th Eon, which is D&D sort of fantasy in a homebrew setting there, which is a ton of fun. Got a lot of great role players in all these shows, and I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to have some Tablestory announcements probably on the horizon, so be on the lookout. Watch for us on the Twitters and the Discords and all the stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.